Cassper's like our Jay-Z.
Yeah,
He's the unapologetic, the money man. It's about the money.
Oh, what did you just say?
Yeah, Cassper's our Jay-Z. Like, think about it. If you think about like raps.
You're gonna piss off a lot of rappers out there, guy.
In what?
Cassper is like no, like Cassper is Jay-Z. How though? You must explain.
This is the Hustler's Corner.
I remember radio, guys, on a Friday because you'd have a long week. You'd have like different shows that are educational, that are in politics, that are about current affairs, school, community stuff. But on a Friday, we know that we're hanging out, we're chilling, we're playing music. So the first thing we do, the culture says, let's go straight to that sharp sign, like button on the count of 1, 2, 3, let's go. Click, 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 click that. Let's click the subscription button is the most important one so the family grows. We're now sitting on 130,000 subscribers all because of you. Let's go. Click. Wow. But another important one, guys, is the notification bell so you guys know whenever we get to drop videos. Right now, we're only sitting at 12% of people that have got their notification buttons on. Switch them on right now. That little bell, cling, cling. Click on it. Let's go. Click. I'm excited. It's a Friday. I'm from the office, guys. I've had a long day. But I'm loosening up and I'm having a glass of wine. And luckily, Mansa was like, no, Spuda, I have my Jaeger. And Nota is like, right. I'm going to have some water. Jaeger. Welcome back, bro.
I appreciate it. Good to be back. Good to be back.
How have you been?
I've been good. You know, just chilling, vibing, working.
Enjoying SA?
I am, definitely. Still enjoying it. I don't plan on leaving no time soon.
I know.
No time soon.
Our sisters are that beautiful, I know.
Yes.
The reason why a lot of African-American brothers settle in South Africa, we all know.
Yeah, it's for the sisters.
They've got the original one.
Yeah.
There's no silicone there.
Nah, exactly. No BBLs.
It's the OG, it's the original. It's not the copy.
Yeah. And I've been seeing you on the internet, you've been hanging out with Nota.
Yes, I have. It's my guy.
The last video I checked out, you said Nota must be stopped.
He must be stopped. He's a menace. He's a menace out here.
He's a menace to society.
Yes.
Even me on this episode, you'll see Nota is back again. Guys, Nota is family. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be back again next month, next. He's like part of the family.
Yeah.
We're literally building this podcast culture, all of us together. The Meg G, the illegal podcast guys, us, the popcast guys, the Nkululeko and cultures, Penuel, all of us. We are literally, even him.
Definitely.
Nota, welcome back, bro.
Thank you. Did you see him, with Maria and Black Steph? They did a reaction.
Oh, I saw the reaction with my boys.
They did a reaction to Cassper's reply.
Cassper's diss track.
Yeah.
And I think
bro came with the whole music video and everything. It was hard.
Yeah,
but I think Steph is clouded by his, not hate, because I don't think he hates him, but I think because they also host a podcast, it's always nice for them to be on opposite sides.
Yeah.
But I know that it doesn't hate Cassper.
No.
But he's not so much of a fan like Rhea is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's my thing. That was like, it was nice to watch the complete opposites, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe let's start with that song. What did you think of that, what is this? Response to Big Zulu's diss track, Cassper's one. Let's talk about Cassper's one.
I thought it was good. I just felt like a lot of the stuff that Cassper said was a lot like everybody had the same stuff on Big Zulu. Like everybody rinsed and repeated everything. I feel like everybody had their own saying in a different way. But Cassper came with some of his own punchlines, and then he also came with the music video, and he was also kind of stunting a little bit with the Rolls Royce, the crib,
the cigar,
the Billiardo. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So he did come different. He did.
And then you've got Duncan that you didn't hear. Well, you might have heard him, but I'm sure you don't understand.
Yeah, that's the thing with those tracks.
We did those reactions as well.
It was more difficult for me to understand those tracks because most of it was in a different language. So, like, even though I had translators, it was still hard for me to really feel the bars like come at me like it would if I, you know what I'm saying, if I understood the language. That's why I feel like Cassper was different because he was speaking English. He did speak some other languages, but when he was speaking English, I felt the bars. I felt them coming. You know what I mean?
KO and Kwesta, for me, those were my favorites.
Really?
Yeah.
Favorite beat?
Favorite everything.
No, I mean, like, what was your favorite beat out of all the diss tracks?
In terms of beats, I heard you on your reaction, you said Cassper, but in terms of beats, I'd say KO. Oh, no. Beats, Kwesta. Beats, Kwesta.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and also because I come from his region,
Oh,
so
the
I can
East End.
understand his flow a bit more, even his language and
Oh,
dialect
yeah.
and his
Yeah,
slang, because
okay.
we come from the same area.
So you was really vibing
So
with it.
I will vibe towards
Yeah,
it maybe
yeah.
more because I understand it more.
that.
Yeah.
I understand.
If you- but
that
even-
might be why I vibe more with Cassper, because I could understand more of what he was saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I actually think if they were all rapping in English, you probably
I
have
probably would have chosen it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
he
thought
chosen a
like
different beat.
Kwesta was a lot in English, and then when I played it for him, like, where's the English?
Exact. They
And
said
I
it
was
was
like,
English.
you know, when you're so used to vernac,
yeah.
like he out my rap and you're like, I English.
I'm like, bro, what's the English in this?
I was like, dog, it's almost 70% English. For us, 70% English is English.
Yeah, it's Loom.
It's long. But it's like,
There's that video that went viral of the young comrade who says, "Comrades, as soon as they start English, we mur them."
yeah. Exactly.
You wouldn't understand if you
Yeah.
have about our history with the colonizers, bro, especially Afrikaans. You still have that resistance amongst.
For me, I think like that KO beat, that was the one that was riding for me. Like we said on the thing.
What did I say that was my favorite beat before the Cassper?
KO.
Was it the KO
Yeah,
beat?
that was the KO. It was riding for me. But my favorite one for me still, Duncan.
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 Serious?
He had the DJ Smooth.
Oh, he did the
with the pineapple, yeah.
Everybody said that is DJ Smooth. Like,
No, really.
there was no debate.
Really though. Really.
There was no debate. Oh, he just said, DJ Smooth trending. It's Smooth trending line.
You know,
Wednesday.
and me, I was like, guys, I didn't bother anyone. if I hear my name on any song, I'm gonna go get Zega Zega and now, Big Zulu won't only bring hip hop back,
Yeah.
he'll also vusa kwaito.
You understand? That's my thing. But you know, Mzeke Zeke has got beef with hip hop since. You remember Amakopo Roche?
But Mzex didn't have beef with hip hop. I think he had beef with guys who were twanging and
Oh, the
making-
American style.
Yeah, that's why he was like, but in nyao 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 nyao.
Yeah, nyao nyao nye, nyao nyao nye. I'm a nyao 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 nye. Uzoza ngamba nyao 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 nyao. You understand? That was a song. You need to actually react to that. That's a diss track to the whole of all the American sounding
Rappers. Yeah.
South African rappers. Yeah.
At that time.
Mzeke Zeke is what is Mzeke Zeke?
Masked kwaito artist.
Yeah, but like who's wears a mask now in America?
It's everybody. Like everybody was wearing a mask during COVID. Zaga Zaga did it like almost 20
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago.
Mzeke Zeke, yo, you should check him out. He even did like he even told Ja Rule, yo, I'm gonna take you to the real hood. I'm from the
Really?
hood too. Yeah.
You remember that?
He had a beef with Ja Rule. Ja Rule's like,
Everybody
I'm from
got
the hood.
beef with Ja
Naming
Rule.
Pumeka, Simpan.
Really?
Yeah, Naming, but I come from the real hood. So which hood is realer? South African hoods or American hoods?
Has he been to the hood
I'm
already?
saying American hoods.
I took him to the Kota festival. He says, nah, our hoods are.
Yeah, but you took him to the nice place. So it is like a suburb now.
I've been to Alex though.
Oh, you been to Alex?
Yeah, I've been to Hillbro. I've been to
You been to Hillbro?
I've been to
And
Umlazi.
you still
I've been
came out
to-
nice in
I just
Hillbro?
came out nice.
With
Yeah.
everything, your jewelry?
Everything, exactly.
Your phones?
That's why I say I'm going with the American hoods on that one. I'm going with the American hoods.
South African hoods are safe.
I wouldn't say it's safe, but I mean it's not American hood.
But
I would
it's
say
beautiful,
that.
ne?
Yeah.
So you
yeah.
guys are rougher.
Yeah, I wouldn't say rougher living. You're just rougher. Like you're not just great going there and just they gonna ask you what you doing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't have that.
During the Nipsey thing, when people were dragging me, say, how do I call myself an ambassador of hip hop from South Africa? When Nipsey had just died, I was
Imagine.
you know, Lamer Park?
But before that,
Oh, anyway, yeah, continue. So
number one, he's from TS Records. TS Records had Pro Kid. And if you know, like the MTV did the greatest rappers of all time. Pro Kid is number one on the greatest rappers of all time list. And he was on TS Records. So
we're working together, yeah.
So I mean, if someone says you're not an ambassador of South African hip hop, I don't know what you need to do for South African hip hop
But then
to be
again,
an ambassador.
But then again, as soon as you leave your country, you're an ambassador of your country and your
True,
hood.
true.
When you're sitting here,
Yeah.
right. So also, I think that's how we need to think. Like as soon as you leave your country, like wherever Bobby Cooper is all over the world right now, the Major League guys or Black Coffee or Trevor, no, wherever they are, all of them, or Uncle Waffles or whoever it is, or Tusombetu, they know consciously it kicks in without even them having, you conscious, as soon as you're in the plane, it consciously kicks in that I'm from, this is who I represent, this is who I represent, you know what I mean?
sure, for sure.
And you should be proud about it. Nobody
Definitely,
should elect
definitely.
you, know, and say, who elected you?
Sure.
Nota, the diss tracks?
Yeah. Well, look, I love the diss tracks. For me, I just love the fact that the guys finally responded to the big Xhosa challenge, because Big Xhosa is the one who started all of this. Like, he's the one who came out, dissed everybody, and shook up hip hop and showed that if hip hop wants to come alive again, we're going to have to bring back that competitive
beef,
spirit.
something, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it beef.
Not
'cause it's
like
beefing.
beef, but you know what I mean? Like beef just as in stirring up drama, just like little stuff, just to, you know.
So that's what he
keep
did.
people talking.
And you know, a lot of hip hop artists were thinking Amapiano has killed us. But I think what hip hop has proved is that the hip hop artists in South Africa have got star quality. Like, they're actually superstars. Whether or not their music is trending or not. You know what I mean? Whether Kwesta's got a new trending song, he's still Kwesta. You know, I think KO is still KO. He's a character, a caricature. You know, he's someone that people know and that they respect and that they love and that they care for. And it doesn't matter whether he's got a hot song right now.
Plus
or not.
that song, hey, that track's fire.
Plus, you know, Sete is
Sete.
number one everywhere. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
back
that's
on
all
the top of the
fire.
charts.
I'm loving Blackie's last part.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and-
Youngsters part two.
And that's
Ooh.
exactly what we needed.
yeah.
That's exactly what we needed. We needed the guys to actually say, listen, we've got a new sound that's emerging. Let us add our lyricism to that, you know? And you've got KO rapping on a track with Young Stunner, rapping on a track with Blackie. I mean, that's 3 different generations.
It's beautiful.
You know, well, 2 different generations, the previous generation, but it's like now the younger generation are actually getting the torch directly from the generation that preceded them, instead of them picking up the torch through learning about their heroes of, you know, the past. You know, they're not researching these people, they actually are on a song together. You know, that's something big. So those diss tracks for me, I think, yeah, they've brought back South African hip hop as we know and love it from the past. And yeah, I'm just happy that, you know, we're back.
Do you think the guys will follow up though? Like
Don't know.
other artists dropping, and because I was expecting even this week for people to be dropping. It seems like there was a lot of beautiful noise last week, and it seems like this
Slow
week
down a
things
little
are.
bit.
Well, Madlera Doughboy dropped as well. He's not in the commotion, but he dropped, you know. There's another guy, 031 Chopper, Chopper Sinemali. That's topping the charts, you know. And 031 Chopper is a kid from the KZN. I met him when he was in studio with Abo Marcus Harvey in Alex. I went to their studio one day, and they were working on these trap songs. Trap the whole time. When I'm fun, the day you kenika the lock drum, you're gonna see everything change for you. This is the first song that he's done that's got a lock drum piano. He went straight from trap to piano. And now 031 Chopper's got one of the biggest songs in the country right now. He's booked everywhere, you know what I mean, on his first attempt. And that just shows that the authenticity that we actually have been running away from in hip hop is what's going to
Yeah.
save us. That's it, you know what I mean? It's just proof. I've been saying it for a long time, and to finally see it happening, I mean, that's good for me. What do you think of
No,
like?
I definitely agree. Like, I feel like hip hop needs a new sound now. Like, it, even in the US, like a lot of hip hop sounds the same right now. Like, people are just waiting for something new. You know what I mean? Just like a new sound. Like, it's been trap, it's been drill. Drill came up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Is drill from Chicago? Or from
Drill's
New
from
York?
Chicago, yeah, Chicago. So drill was a nice sound. Like, there was something like new that came back. You know what I'm saying? It's still going right now, but it's still like they're looking for something different, you know. And then Drake tried to come out with his last album, which was different, and
It
a lot
was
of
more
people,
dance?
yeah, but a lot of people wasn't vibing with it. So it's coming, it's coming.
And
I guess-
Beyonce?
I guess
And Beyonce, yeah.
I guess majority of Americans, when they see an artist like Drake, that expect hip hop.
Yeah,
But you'd also think Uguta House is supposed to be big in the US because it started in Chicago. And you know, our boy was in that album, Black Coffee. It did some
Yeah.
work. You could hear Black Coffee's
Yeah.
touch. For us, we were happy. Yeah, but his core fans, I think they were not happy. As
They
happy.
was.
Yeah, well, I mean, you didn't get the authentic black coffee that we love, right? And then you also didn't get
But
the
it's also
Drake.
not his album.
That Drake
you
that
didn't
we
get
love.
the Drake
We
that
didn't
we
get
expected.
neither.
So that's my thing, is that on both of them, they did something that we didn't expect, you know. So that's why there's that disappointment. But as far as the
No, me, I wasn't disappointed. I love that album.
Yeah, I know.
There's
but
a few songs
from
on that
people
album
are
that's,
disappointed.
that's nice.
Oh.
From the
Okay,
people that are disappointed,
Yeah.
the disappointment comes from, as a coffee stand, I didn't hear him go deep into what I know him to do, right? And as a Drake fan, I didn't hear him rap or do the bars or do the, you know, the captions, the
true.
Instagram captions lines. You know what I mean? That trend every time he drops. But the one thing that I was speaking to Mansa about, aside from the Drake and the Beyonce and everything else, I was like, bro, you're in South Africa now, right? It might be normal for you, but the fact that Beyonce has dropped this year, the fact that Drake has dropped this year, the fact that Kendrick has dropped this year, and yet everyone's still talking about the latest Amapiano drop, talking about local music, is something that's completely different for us as South Africans to experience it. You are experiencing it as an American. And what he told me is that, you know what, also in America, Beyonce has dropped, Kendrick has dropped, Drake has dropped, but those albums aren't shaking the country. They aren't shaking
Who's
America.
shaking the country in the US now?
Afrobeats and Amapiano.
Yeah, I feel like
Amapiano in the US.
no, not Amapiano. Maybe in certain areas. I wouldn't say if you know what I mean.
Mainstream.
Yeah, not
Okay,
main,
not
yeah.
mainstream, but in terms of like the new sound that's actually people are
Yeah,
excited
in
about.
pocket corners.
Afrobeat is what they're excited about right now. Afrobeat.
I think Amapiano, given a few more years.
Yeah.
I think it's going there.
Well,
because Afrobeat has been at it for quite some time.
Afrobeat, we've been listening to Afrobeat for a while. It was Wizkid, Burna Boy, but now we've unlocked
Davido.
other artists. Davido, Ashake's now coming in.
Yeah, Burna
Yeah.
Boy has been killing it.
Yeah,
Look,
Rema, what was his name?
Keith Daniel.
He's what is that? That new artist that came out with that song that was really trending on TikTok. I can't think.
CK.
CK,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like Afrobeat's really killing the US.
Look, I hear what you're saying in terms of like the songs that are charting and making the charts. What I'm talking about is a new emerging sound. Like that's shaking up the States. Amapiano right now.
I think
in
it's
New York.
shaking up the world.
Yeah, it is
Amapiano,
shaking up the world.
yeah,
It is. But in New York right now, like there isn't a party that doesn't have an Amapiano set.
Are you serious?
Nah.
In New York right now. This is in New York from my friends. If you follow Cephas in NYC, which is South Africans in New York City. If you follow them on Instagram, every single party, DJ Jaws was there.
But I think it's in the African communities.
Yes,
Because like in London,
yes,
when you go to
yes.
London also, there's African communities where sometimes here at home, we might think when our guys go there, they're performing mainstream, which is good. But I kind of feel there's pockets of communities in
He's
every,
right, exactly.
every city
Yeah,
all
exactly.
over the world.
Okay,
Exactly.
That,
No,
that
that's-
I get.
that's very true. That's exactly-
That I get. What I'm trying to say is that if you follow enough people that are actually on the scene in New York, like there's a DJ called African Queen, DJ AQ. She's from South Africa. She's a student at the New School in New York. She's been DJing in New York the whole entire time. All of a sudden, now she's like a superstar DJ because she's a South African DJ and because Amapiano is blowing up. So it's not like someone who came from South Africa, had a hit song, and now is making it in the States. The DJs that are from Africa, that are in New York right now, there isn't a party in New York that doesn't have an Amapiano set. That's what I'm saying.
But
and for us, right, what I'm trying to say is this. It is a big deal. We cannot look at it as a small deal to have a set of a certain genre that comes from South Africa playing at parties in New York. We never had a South African song playing in an American DJ set. But now we've got DJs that are actually dedicating an hour to playing South African music in clubs in New York. And whether it be from people who are from this continent or from this country or anything else, it's a big deal. We didn't have, back in the days of, let's say, the height of Kwaito, when TKZ was at the top of the game, they didn't have anyone playing a TKZ song in a club in New York. Now you've got DJs in New York playing a whole Amapiano set. And yes, we're getting used to actually being played because we've had Jerusalem, all these big successes. But we cannot look down or overlook how actually, like, this is big. This is the wildest dream of all our ancestors. The Miriam Makebas of this world, this would be their wildest dream. The Brahim Masigelas of this world, this would be their wildest dream. If you look at any stars from Southern Africa, the Oliver Mtukudzi, the Dorothy Masugas, they'd love to actually know that their music back then was playing in jazz clubs where they only play an hour of South African jazz.
Yeah, I think we are on the right direction. And I also would like to attribute it to the growth of social media, especially TikTok. I think
TikTok's
TikTok
the
has
one.
played a big role in blowing up Amapiano globally.
Facts.
You agree?
I agree, definitely. Definitely with Afrobeat too. That's why Afrobeat is going so crazy because of TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those trends with the CK, with all that. TikTok.
Sorry. Earlier, one of the reasons I forgot to mention earlier is, and I don't know if it is really a rule in hip hop, one of the reasons why I liked KO's response also is that it was within 48 hours. Isn't it the rule in hip hop that you have to respond within 48 hours?
Yeah.
That's the reason why for me, I was like, KO.
Yeah, I see.
He
what you
responded that quick with those punchlines, with the
He was the first to
song,
respond.
bro.
But
with
I
the-
don't know, because when Drake responds to somebody, it might take him a couple weeks, and then he'll come out and
Okay,
he'll
but what
just
about
shut
the
it down.
artwork?
Like, yo,
What about the KO's artwork? That was the response
My
in the-
Omega.
yeah, that's true. That's
That
true.
was fun. And then another verse that shook up the hip hop space has been, Khaled's album.
Yeah.
And obviously the
God did.
The God did track, Rose, Wayne,
I listened
Jigga.
to God Did verse while sitting at Sakumzi on Vilagazi Street.
So he's got an MBA in Jay-Z. I've got a PhD in
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Oh, okay.
But we're not even Americans.
Yeah.
That's
We
how
studied
much
it.
influence music has.
Yeah.
No, that's because
yeah.
he played Jay-Z every morning on his radio show when he was on YFM.
you was- and you was tuned
Yeah,
in.
he played Takeover.
You
know what I mean?
remember that? Zoom. Goom,
Every morning.
goom, goom. It was my instrumental
Yeah, that's your
background.
bed music, every morning. So it
I
was like,
could resonate with for me it wasn't just the entertainment value till today. And I think one of the things I'm glad that I became an early Jay-Z fan before Beyonce and before
Yeah.
this commercial Jay-Z, like from early days,
Right,
right?
yeah.
I've always been a Jay since I was young. For me, it was the motivational element that came from Jay-Z's music. It's music I could listen to when I'm driving to a meeting. Music I could listen to when I'm going through the most things are difficult.
Right.
Music I could listen to motivate myself at the gym.
For sure,
It was
for
just
sure.
that hustler music that I could vibe with, just like Kwaito was for me. You know what I mean? And I saw your reaction with the boys. Ria and Blackstep, shout outs to the boys. Let's talk about that verse. Or let's
good.
talk about the whole song.
Which the J
God did.
God did. You want to start, Nota?
Who's gonna start?
well, the first thing I'd like to say is that Kanye touched a Billy before Hove did. I'm sorry.
You know that's not true.
No, he did.
you
He
know
did.
that's not
No,
true.
no, seriously, he
It's not
did.
true.
He
You
did.
know it's not
Okay,
true.
how did Kanye get you 3 Billy while Hove was still on 1 Billy?
Hove has been a Billy for a while. You see, you need
But
to remember,
Kanye was a Billy first. Kanye was a Billy first. It's just that Forbes didn't want to give him the first. Like, I understand why, because they already were building it up for Jay, like that whole entire thing. But when we actually look at that whole entire whole verse, like basically what he's trying to talk about is social capital. Like, this is about the social capital of hip hop. The fact that, the barriers that he was able to break down assisted so many other people to, break down those barriers. It wouldn't have been possible to even imagine Kanye being a billionaire had Puff and Jay-Z not been running up the Forbes list prior to that. Because every year, okay, Jay-Z made this much, okay, Puff Daddy made this much. Every year, you know what I mean? Until they got to $1 billion. It was a race. Who's going to be the first to be a billion?
Right.
Like, he inspired that. The fact that we've got a billionaire rapper like Kanye, we've got a billionaire singer from Barbados like Rihanna. All of them
She doing her thing too.
coming out of Hove crib,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, is like, for him to just put that in perspective and to say, okay, this is the contribution that I've made into the culture. I think, like, dope verse, killer verse, the fact that he did that in one take as well, like,
Yes, I
Young
seen
Guru-
that. He did it in
Young
one
Guru's
take.
talking about,
One take.
this guy did that in one take, and people don't understand that. They've never been in the studio with
One
rappers.
take.
Not many verses are done in one take. You know what I mean? Not many not many times do you do it in one take. And trust me, when a rapper does something in one take, the magnitude of that.
That's wild.
Like the songs that were done, like a song like Kwesta and Kid X, Boom Shakalaka, both those songs, I mean, both their verses, they did them in one take. One take. You know what I mean? Verse, chorus, both verses and choruses. Like, that is like an engineer's dream. To have unbroken vocals to actually play with, and you're doing it quickly, so now you can focus on how to actually compose the song and make sure that it sits well. Like Jay-Z, the fact that he's doing that in his 50s, he's 52 now. In his 50s, doing verses in one take.
it's amazing, eh?
You know what I mean? Consummate professional. It's a culture shifter. Everybody's talking about that verse. Again, that's the impact that he had,
Do you think his billionaire status clouds the actual talent? Do you think young people are not being given enough chance to actually scrutinize the level of professionalism and talent that he delivered? Do you think they're being clouded by the fact that he's a billionaire? It's like, oh wow, it's wow because it's
the
I
fact
feel
that
like
he-
I feel like young people now is just a different sound. Like, they don't really care about what Jay-Z is talking about. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, because if you hear the new music now, they don't really talk about anything. It's more
Lil
of the
Baby.
beat and the vibe. You know what I mean? No, Lil Baby talks about something. I'm talking about like the Like the Lil Pumps and you know what I mean? Those
NBA
type of
Youngboy.
NBA Youngboy. Like even though NBA Youngboy, I like NBA Youngboy myself, but
Yeah.
there's just other rappers that really don't be talking about it. It's more just the vibe and then the sound. You know what I mean? Like
I
it's just
think that
young for Jay-Z.
as a billionaire.
Yeah, they can't relate to Jay-Z right now.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah.
They also can't actually dissect the brilliance of
You know what I
of
mean?
his work.
Yeah.
And even the fact that it was just a one take and he didn't write it down.
Okay, but let's talk
what it
about
takes
like
to
And it's
let's-
different when you grow up with Jay-Z because now you know what I'm saying, you're with him. He's telling you everything. You know?
Captured me.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they made rapping too easy. Like the newer generation, rapping is so easy that anybody can do it. That they don't have an appreciation for the genius that is Jay-Z. But the fact that he's out rapping dudes who are
Hey, don't
30
sleep on
years-
Wayne's verse though.
No,
Wayne's
he's
verse
out-
was
no, I'm
fire.
not talking about the dudes that he's rapping on. I'm
Oh,
talking about
okay.
he's out rapping dudes that are 30 years younger than him, like
Okay,
22-year-old rappers.
yeah.
He's out rapping 22-year-old rappers as a billionaire. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why is he still rapping?
But it's
What is he
Jay-Z,
rapping
though.
to 1.6 billion? Is that what he wants? To another 200 million to add to his billion? No, like he's got no reason to rap. What is he gonna get if he raps? He's gonna get another Beyonce. No, there's no.
But
other
for him,
Beyonce.
but for
I'm
him,
just
I'm
saying,
sure.
I'm just saying, like, just think about that. The
Yeah.
fact that he's still going in. He's done everything.
Mm.
He's done it all. You know, he can call Idris Elba and say, yo, let me shoot another movie with you. You know, let's do another Netflix special. You
Mm.
know, let's do another The Harder They Fall or something. Like, he's at another level. You know,
Yeah.
he's at a complete
Now
other
he just
level.
does it for fun.
But
He
it's
just
like
does
He's not doing it for fun.
It's like
It's not fun.
It's like
How
imagine
do you do it for
it's
fun in
like
one
imagine
take?
Mutsipa
That's
rapping.
his hobby.
No,
That's
It's
what he
like
does.
Mutsipa on the mic.
You understand? And in one take. You understand? And it does it still count? Like, who would have, okay, if a 52-year-old doesn't do it in one take, what are we gonna say? We're not gonna say, we're gonna say you're 52 years. Still, at 52 years old, with all the accolades, with Beyonce, with 23 Grammys, all of that stuff, and he's still out there trying to, like, the youngest rapper right now who can't finish his verse in one take needs to know that Jay-Z at 52 was able to do that. Just imagine that. That's the level he's at.
I guess that's why towards the end of the raps, he says that line where he's like, next time you have a discussion about who's the GOAT, you donkeys know this.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
from there, he says, I feel like Farrakhan Khan now speaking to Mike
Yeah.
Wallace.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Lord, better just
Damn.
shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
And by the way, on your reaction, you must go listen to that song over and over.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lines that he said that went over you.
Yeah,
Dude.
definitely.
I think at
Definitely
the
if you-
time, maybe you only listened to it once. I don't know.
that was every time I do a reaction, that's the first time I'm hearing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're authentic.
Yeah, of course. I can't react to a song.
Oh,
I
that's
can't,
dope,
yeah.
bro. Also, it's
This is
not
my
a song
very-
you've listened to before.
No, definitely not. Definitely
Even
not.
with the
so that's why I'm
they-
like
they
a lot of people
wouldn't
be
listen
like,
to the
"Oh,
song.
this flow over your head, this flow over your." Like it's my first time hearing the song. This is y'all third, second, probably fourth time hearing it. Of course, y'all gonna hear something that I didn't hear the first time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
Well, now I respect your art, Tony.
yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
It's my very first time hearing it every time.
Do your audience know? Do they know that?
I don't know, but now y'all need to know. If y'all watch me, look, it's my very first time ever seeing it. Whenever I react to something, I never heard it before. So, perfect example, the Sete reaction, never heard it before. I was listening into 1.5 speed because I never heard it before. And I usually set 1.5 speed when I'm like when I'm listening to something informative and I
Maybe
kind of
like an audio book or something.
yeah, something like that. So my settings was already set to 1.5 speed. So when I clicked the play to react to it, it was in 1.5 speed the whole time. Until I got to Blackie's verse. I was like, hold on, something ain't right. Blackie don't sound like this. Hold on. I go to my settings, go up. I'm in 1.5 speed. So you know what I'm saying? So when I actually changed it to normal, I listened, okay, this is what it actually sounded like. You know what I mean? So like first reaction is my very first hear. I don't listen before.
Oh, that's incredible. And
Yeah.
guys, for those who don't know, one of the first South African music, if actually I think it's the first. You said it's Nasty C, right?
Yeah, Nasty C Jungle is the song.
Did you do a reaction to his Sticky remix? 'Cause
Yeah,
you
I just
remixed-
did one today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's up now. Just
You
did one
posted
today. Yeah, it's up now.
So
I
okay,
just
what do you
posted.
think about Nasty C versus
Yo,
Drake as a rapper?
yo.
For rapper.
Versus
No,
who?
no, Drake.
no.
Drake is the one. I don't compare him to nobody. Drake is the
Okay,
one.
but
Nasty C versus Drake.
in terms
Drake
of,
is the one.
on that song.
Drake is the one. I don't care.
So he didn't beat
No.
Drake's
No,
original.
he didn't beat Drake original. Nasty C was fire though. Nasty C.
Because I heard it, I was like, I
Nasty
think he
C's
might
fire.
be out rapping Drake on this one.
Nah, Drake. Nobody beats Drake.
Okay.
Nobody beats Drake.
I need to listen to the Drake one again.
I guess I do. I need to listen to the Drake one again.
Yeah.
But Nasty C was definitely fire. And
I
I
was
like
listening to it just now, like when we were coming in.
Yeah.
I was like,
but there's a second one. There's a whole different one. So he has two
Remix.
parts. Yeah, he has two different freestyles. There's one where he's on DJ what was it? Woo
I was listening
Kid?
to Sticky.
No, Woo Kid.
Oh, okay.
It's
DJ
like
Hookid,
it's like
yeah.
a whole video where
DJ
he's
Hookid.
like
DJ Hookid is what you call G Unit's DJ.
yeah, so it's like a whole like video, like you see him and everything. He's freestyling like it's fire. I haven't checked it out yet, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Who are some of your local? Oh, let me give you guys my take. My take is I've been a fan of Jay-Z for many years, and I can relate to a lot of the things that he talks about. Other things I obviously can't relate because I'm not an American. I'm not based in America. I'm here. But in terms of his greatness, in terms of his rhymes, Jay-Z talks about the same things over and over. He just has a way of making it sound like it's something fresh and new. And the reason why it sounds like it's something fresh and new is because, for instance, when I drop my next book, it's pretty much a lot of the things that I spoke about on my previous book, but I'm just catching up on the 2 to 3 or 4 years that I didn't deliver anything. I'm just covering up some of my experiences just within the past 3-4 years. So Jay-Z in this verse, he sort of rounded up what his career has been all about. And I think he kind of felt he had to remind us. And
He always reminds us. I won't lie.
he always remind, and it's important because sometimes you know, Now I see it all the time.
exactly.
Once in a while, you have to remind people.
Yo.
That's why you'll find the likes of Soldier Boy going to get his flowers by force. Going to
Yeah.
the breakfast
Right, I
club
was
and
the
say,
first.
I was the first. It's because of that, right?
yeah.
We're in the culture now where people move on so quick. What was trending 3 days ago, people have moved on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you always have to remind people, especially in hip hop, because it's a competitive sport. And also, I think Jay-Z doesn't use auto-tune and his voice is clear.
It's clear as hell.
And when it comes to the actual art of what
Everybody else uses autotune.
and I didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying everybody else uses autotune.
But even on that song, Wayne delivered a dope verse, but it still had auto-tune.
No, like autotune, they use it just to smoothen out their voice because it's a nice sound.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that it's a cheat code.
I didn't say that, but I
Yeah.
agree with you. Everybody
Yeah.
uses it to sound better.
Yeah, to sound better.
I think we've all used it if we were musicians on some songs or whatever, or other people use it often. But the fact that Jay-Z doesn't use auto-tune, his voice is clear. You can hear his voice clear. You can hear each and every word that he's saying. You can hear what other people judge what hip-hop is supposed to be about on. You can hear him sticking to that. Whether you guys call it double entendres, you can call
Triple
it
entendre.
triple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can call, you want to judge him on success, you want to judge him on flow, you want to judge him from all sorts of different directions. When you dissect his verse, you sometimes end up feeling like, no, this was unfair, man. Khalid has to have given Wayne and Ross this song before, and Jay-Z heard them, and he was like, yeah, Ngzuba Bonisa type of thing. It wasn't fair for him to go on for like 4 or 5 minutes. But with that being said, still, it's a dope verse. And for me, I'm somebody who's big on inspiration. When I hear such verses, I hear that billionaire talk. It's very rare we loved our greats, Abo Steve Biko, Abo Bob Marley, Abo Lucky Dube, but it's very rare to hear Umtomyama, a black person,
embrace it.
embrace it and talk that talk.
Yeah,
There's
for
just a
sure.
certain type of talk sometimes you just have to. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And in rap, I think everybody loves that braggadocio. Because rap is been built on I'm better than you.
Right.
I've got a better car than you. I've got a better this than you.
That's the vibe I got from the whole Cassper diss. Like, that's how he was flaunting in the video. You know what I mean? Like, I got my Rolls Royce, you rocking in Cobbies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
That's why I was saying, like, Casper's like our Jay-Z.
yeah.
He's the unapologetic, the money man. It's about the money.
Oh, what did you just say?
Yeah, Casper's our Jay-Z. Like, think about it. If you think about like raps,
You're gonna piss off a lot of rappers out there, guy.
in what? It takes in.
Cassper is like
Mazo it takes in.
no, like Cassper is Jay-Z. How though? You must explain. In
Maybe his
in
person,
wealth-
his persona, his personality, what he brings to South
He's
African
crying
rap.
in a Bentley.
I can see
That's
what he's
how.
saying.
or not with raps.
You understand?
No,
I don't know.
not with
You
rap,
need
not
to
with
be
bars.
clear. You need to be clear.
Not with
though.
bars, not with
No,
bars.
not
No,
with,
not
but
with
just
bars.
like.
Oh, you said
dude,
not with bars.
Just his
Dude.
persona, his
Dude.
person, like how he is.
Casper is the guy that makes you like you could be rich, ne? But he will make you feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you mean the hustle?
There you go.
Like,
There you
I think
go.
we all agree with the
No,
hustle.
seriously,
go,
you're not
yeah.
doing
Oh,
enough.
'cause it's important for you to be clear.
No,
Yeah.
seriously.
Because other people want to take it wrong. Like,
No, but
I'm
also,
saying.
no, even with the bars, dog, even with the style of bars that he uses, I know that it's clowned, right? And that's because of the cultural differences that we have in South Africa, whereas in America, right, their culture is about being braggadocious and all that stuff, right? Yes, we have Ikotanela, but we're very modest as people. Like our culture, like Ekasi, like even if you had a good family, Ekasi, you'd be told, hey, you know, be moderate, don't go out there and show off, you know, people will be jealous of you, bazokuthakatha. All those types of things are because we are a very modest people. You know what I mean? Cassper came in this whole game, yo, I'm hotter than everybody. Double HP, relax. What? Yeah, I don't care. I'm hotter. I'm gonna be a billionaire. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna fill up stadiums. Double HP hasn't even filled up stadiums. They said I don't care. I'm not waiting for Double HP to tell me that I'm great. You understand? I understand that he's the guy that's putting me in the game, but Mina, I'm my own man. I'm doing my own thing, you know? And to actually have that attitude, to actually go for it like that. We haven't seen a kid from Ekasi do that. I've never seen anyone from Ekasi. And for me, as a producer, as a record exec, ne, Cassper is the type of artist where you don't need the record exec. Because if you look at like an artist like a Kwesta, you need a Nota next to Kwesta so that Kwesta can actually come out and be a superstar. Because if it's just Kwesta on his own, he'll just be modest and everything else. You'll only hear Magapod on the mic. You know what I mean? You only hear him when he's boss. You understand? He doesn't have that whole entire Jay-Z, yo, I'm going to kill the whole game. I'm going to dominate. You know what I mean? I'm going to be number one. I'm going to be the one that everyone's talking about. Doesn't matter what's trending. I'm going to be the trending topic. Doesn't matter what you guys are searching for. I'm going to be number one Googled. You know? So Cassper's got that attitude. So he's unapologetic about that, you know? And a lot of people, they hate him for that. You understand? So you can hate someone like that or you can be inspired. You can look at Cassper and see, I hate that about him. You know what I mean? The fact that he goes for whatever he believes in. The fact that he says, yo, ngizogcwalisa idome. You know, I don't care if everyone thinks I'm crazy. I'm insane. I'm going to fill up the dome. And he does it. You understand? And people still just believe him. Then he says, okay, fine, Orlando again. Okay, ngicwali FNP again. Okay, ngicwali thingilete kaSlam, Royal Bafokeng again. You understand? So there's no level.
Okay, Moses Mabhida.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in the armpit of South Africa. It's in ngiyifake da. You understand? So there's nothing that South African hip hop, right, has done, like in general, that actually, for me, puts us in the same line as Jay-Z until we had Cassper Nyovest come into the game. Because he really shook it up. You know? He really shook it up.
So what are you saying about AKA though?
No, AKA, that's the thing. AKA is a brilliant rapper. He's a brilliant musician. If you
Shout out to Keenan. Keenan, we've never hung out, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, like my entire career, I've never interviewed you. Like my heart was so sad the other day.
Seriously?
My favorite lyricist of all time, Makesh, passed on.
Ooh.
And I'd never sat down with Makesh.
Yeah, no, you did
Like,
say
no,
that.
I'd love to sit down with AKA. By the way, I'm looking forward to it. I'll speak to his people
So,
and make it happen.
AKA,
Yeah?
as far
We
as,
miss you, bro, by the way. New music, when is it coming?
As far
I
as
miss
a
you, bro.
as far as a musician guy it goes, he's par excellence. He's up there with the Brenda Fassies of this world, you know, AKA. When it comes to like South African hit makers, you know, you can versus him with Abu Brenda Fassie in terms of the amount of hits that he's got. You know what I mean? The amount of dominance over the, how many years is his career? Since 2004. You must remember he started with Entity, started in a group, and then he still made it as a solo artist. Like, I'd say AKA,
I was yeah, but anyway,
but I'd
continue.
say AKA is like even bigger than a Bugalav in terms of from group to solo artist to sustaining that solo career. You know?
I don't think you can compare. It's unfair. It's like
No,
you're comparing
yeah.
apples and oranges.
Well-
because Entity wasn't as successful as TKZ.
No, that's true. That's
From a
true.
group level.
No, that's true. But in the same time, in the same breath, as much as Entity wasn't as successful, right? The fact that he came from a group, right, where he wasn't seen as the shining star. When we watched Entity for the first time, we didn't think this AKA guy must go solo. No one said AKA must go solo.
He wasn't the Beyonce of the
He wasn't
at the
Tukolo.
time.
He wasn't the Tukolo of Entity. Just in the same way as Kabelo wasn't the Tukolo of TKZ. But he still had like a long-lasting solo career, you know, beyond the initial buzz that TKZ had. And when you compare that with AKA's run as a solo artist, AKA has had a longer solo run than Kabelo had. You know, even though Kabelo did like amazing things like you yourself, you hosted the Summers as well. Kabelo hosted the Summers, I think 3 years in a row. So just from that Jay-Z perspective, Cassper's our Jay-Z. I don't know who.
AKA? We're
I don't
still on
know,
AKA.
Yeah, I don't know who we'd compare AKA to, but he's like one of the goats when it comes like musically. He's like our Kanye. You know, I like from an artistic perspective, is like our Kanye. It's like a Rockefeller. If SA hip hop was Rockefeller, you'd say AKA is the greatest artist we've ever produced. But if we're talking about brand ambassadors, Cassper Nyovest is the greatest ambassador that we've ever had for South African hip hop.
Just as I just went absent-minded. Okay, continue.
No,
Let me think
seriously,
about
just-
this point quickly.
Or what do you think? What do you think between AKA and Cassper?
I'm going with Cassper.
You understand? But it's not about the music. It's
Yeah,
about
but I'm not gonna lie. You was playing some AKA that night we went to the to that Red Boy event,
Oh,
and I
it's
never
his
heard
first
that.
album.
What was that album?
Alter Ego. That's his first album.
That was fire. I ain't never heard that before. That was fire.
Yeah, I was playing
Those songs
Mistakes.
was those songs was hits.
Mistakes.
Yeah, those
Excuse me,
songs was
young love.
fire. But
You know-
I never heard that before. But so before then, yeah, definitely Cassper. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
those
talking
was-
about he was drinking
Oh.
Tennessee because he couldn't afford Hennessy.
I remember my question now.
Yeah,
My question wanted to say, a lot of young cats, or maybe my generation, or even the generation after you guys would say, yeah, but Jay-Z wouldn't be, or things would not have turned out the way they did if Biggie and Tupac were still alive. And Jay-Z has addressed that on a lot of songs. You know, where, I don't know what song comes to mind now. The first song that will come to mind, I'll
but what
remind you
killed
guys.
what killed Biggie
Where he
and
says
Tupac?
like, but you guys got me still fighting ghosts. Like, Jigga was still gonna
No,
be
but
Jigga.
I'm saying what killed.
Yes, I'm not there. I was
Yeah.
just making an example because I'm trying to come back to AKA to say, I've heard a lot of South African hip hop fans say, if there was no AKA, Cassper's route would not have turned out the way it did. Is that true? Do you agree? Or you're not from here, but you
don't
follow the
know.
music. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Nah, there's no way.
Cassper
Because
was still going to be great regardless.
What I say is this:
Don't you think the
Double
beef,
HP.
the beef helped both of
Double
their
HP.
star power?
WHP was bigger than Mendoza to me in terms of like as a superstar. Brand wise, everything that Mendoza was able to do as a Kwaito artist for the first time, like get brands to endorse him, get ShopRite checkers to put him on a Borovors ad with Nathaniel and everything. We've seen WHP do more than that. WHP brought the first supercar we've seen in a music video. We had a Porsche, the SUV, in that music video, which was sponsored by Stimmerol. You know, that product placement. He had a video where he had A-Marie flown to the country while she was still hot of one thing. When she was at her hottest, she was flown to the country to do a video with WHP.
I remember that,
Shell
yeah.
also sponsored a video that he did with Amu and Saifo. You know what I mean? The way he was bigger than just hip hop, the way he was bigger than just music as a character, right? And then to have a Cassper Nyovest under his wing who wanted to do more than what he'd seen WHP do makes what AKA has achieved irrelevant to Cassper because he wasn't going at being better than AKA. Cassper would have been successful whether he rapped or not. That's just who he is.
So you don't think they fueled each other to bring out the best of each
Anyone
other?
who was a rival
Best
in
out
hip
of
hop,
each other?
anyone who was a rival in hip hop at that point in time would have been squashed by Cassper, and that's why AKA, as great as he is, was squashed by Cassper. You understand? Casper's not a better rapper or a musician than AKA, but AKA was not able to
Say
achieve-
that line again, sorry.
Cassper is not a better rapper or musician than AKA.
So you think AKA is a better musician
Yeah.
than Cassper?
Yes.
And you're also saying AKA is a better rapper than Cassper?
Yes.
Okay.
But either way, that you could.
But you are saying AKA can't touch Casper's hustle.
What I'm saying that nobody can touch Casper's hustle. I've never seen anyone who's got a hustler's ethic the way Casper's got. You understand what I'm saying? It inspires everybody. It inspires even someone like me. You understand? Like for me, like I always look for someone who's got the drive and motivation that I've got. The only person I ever see as a rival in terms of drive and motivation to compare myself with is Cassper. I don't see anybody else. No one else can drive me because I know that guy's gonna go hard.
Hey, Reese.
A. Reese has proven that he doesn't have the drive to be number one. He's very comfortable. He's very comfortable. He's very comfortable in being a rapper.
Hold on. Before you continue, let's ask him. He's not from here at home.
Yeah.
Hey, Reese. Cassper?
I see what he's saying because I do agree because like Reese, you never see him like in this days, like you have to be on social media, you have to market yourself, you have to be out there.
But what if
Reese just doesn't
but what
do
if
that?
you don't have to, but you still have the numbers of people who are trying hard to market themselves?
He doesn't have the numbers.
He's good.
He's got numbers. He's got good numbers, yes. And
He can have- I feel like he could have better
And I'm not
numbers.
saying social media following.
Yeah.
I'm saying music, because remember, these are all musicians.
Yeah.
out
Because
there.
he has good music. If
He's got good
he's got
music,
good
yes.
music, that's what he has.
But
But
I'm
he
saying he
doesn't
could be
have the
doing
other
much better.
qualities. He could be doing much better.
Or you don't think he's got star quality?
He doesn't have star quality at all.
You know,
At all.
That's the thing. You're not topical unless you're dropping music, you know. And we need more than music. That's what.
Yeah,
that's what
he has
SA
good
hip-hop has
music.
shown
Like, he's really
right now,
good.
is that SA hip hop?
Do you guys want him to be like on some influencer level?
Yeah, of course.
not to be an
Is it?
He should be like he likes to smoke. So if I was to compare him to somebody, he needs to be like a Wiz Khalifa when he was coming up.
MT's
Or
got his
MT,
brand.
yes.
MT's already selling his brand rolling
Yes,
papers.
yes. You know
can
what I'm
buy them.
saying? Like,
I'm serious. You can buy MT rolling papers. He's got his own brand of rolling papers.
So in
Yeah.
hip hop, that also counts.
Yeah, that's a business. You understand? If Cassper's selling his 990s, you know what I mean? Kwesta was selling urban arts. Everybody, it's about the brands, the image. Big Zulu,
Everything.
right? Big Zulu. Everyone say, yeah, he Brentwood, ne Gucci. This man made Brentwood upper class. He made it upper. It looks good because he mixes it up with the Gucci, with the high end brands. You understand?
And Ricky came up with that.
You understand? That's the thing. He
And shout out
styled
to
him.
Ricky,
Yeah,
man.
shout out
So
to Ricky
rest in peace,
for bringing that up. But he already had that. That style, he already had that. He had a deal with Brentwood. It's just that he had some drama, some situation. You know what I mean? That almost got him cancelled, but it was a fake story. It wasn't a real story, even though Cassper rapped about it, but it wasn't a real story. So, Big Zulu, that image that he brought, the Nkabi image, right? When I listen to all those diss tracks, and I listen to the rappers that rap, most of them are Nguni rappers. I don't know if KO Zulu or Swati, but he's from Piet Retief, which is in that area. You know, I know Kwesta is Zulu from home, from his father's side of the family, and his mother's Swati. So he's got a mixture of both those. Everyone is a Nguni rapper. From Nguni rapper's perspective, I don't think Big Zulu is like the ultimate Nguni rapper, like as a Zulu rapper. He's not like the best rapper. But when you look at how he authentically represents his culture, he stands out against the rest, whether or not he's a better rapper than KO. You know what I mean? And KO is like, he's not the type of guy you can be a better rapper than, because he's just like he's a heartless savage. You know what I mean? KO, when you listen to him on a track, you're like,
He chewed him. I think he chewed Big Zulu. I
Yeah,
think
but
Big
Big
Zulu's
KO
track
is
was
heartless.
heavy. I think Big Zulu's this track was heavy.
yeah,
But when I listen to KO, you need to remember also KO has got that North swag.
yeah,
You know, for his fan base.
Yeah.
And for the people who don't mess with that North and
Yeah.
Bree stuff.
Yeah.
And Inkabas Kichim Lapotina Lapis Hamba
Yeah.
type of, you know, like good to know, like come on, type
Yeah.
of thing. And just the structure of that, like he turned it. For me, I kind of think that song is gonna take us all the way to summer. I'm not saying it's gonna be a big song, but it's a song he can perform and rock a crowd.
exactly. The Omega freestyle, he can rock that. But I mean,
You
like,
think so?
he doesn't need to now. He's got Sete,
I don't
and
know.
that's
I
already
think
at the top of
Sete's the
charts.
one. Yeah. I rather.
Oh, Sete obviously, it's not a diss song, but
yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Melodies will always win.
I think Sete might be the song of the summer from hip hop.
Definitely. I agree.
For this summer, I don't see another hip hop artist coming up with another track. And also,
Would you even consider it hip hop though?
It is.
Is it hip hop?
that's the thing that for me, I've always said that hip hop, as long as we've got rappers that
I
are
forgot
part of
about
the
you.
culture, yeah.
This man said I'm a piano is hip hop.
It is hip hop. It's our culture.
gosh.
It's our culture. Because like you guys want
Why do you
boom bap
disagree?
Atlanta.
I just disagree.
It's
It's
the culture. Look at Reese Madlisa. What does he look like? Doesn't he look like
Do
a
you know
rapper?
this much is?
He knows
yeah.
it.
Oh,
He's
that's
his
my favorite. Yeah, that's my
his
favorite. I'm a
favorite.
piano artist. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Reese Madlisa. Yeah.
And Zuma,
And Zuma.
both of
Hey,
yeah.
Zuma's flow.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm sure those.
Young
So,
Stana,
like,
Young Stana is him.
are those not rappers? They're rappers.
Mass
I would
music.
say they're
I'm a
rapping
big fan.
Yes, they're
on
rappers.
I'm a piano.
But Amapiano is just our sound in South Africa. It's not gonna sound like trap in Atlanta. It's not gonna sound.
It's not hip hop though. It's I'm a piano.
Yes, but trap is hip hop, right?
Trap is trap.
It's not hip hop.
No, it's trap. Trap
But it's
music.
part of the hip hop culture.
It's part of the hip hop culture,
But
but we
it's
call
not
it trap
rap, it's not
music.
So it's
rap.
Amapiano.
No, it's not.
But it-
So okay, what do they do on Afrobeat then? They rap on Afro. It's hip hop.
Okay, let me put it to you like this. Afrobeats, right? The entire genre is derived from South African Kwaito music.
Right.
Yes, they slowed down their West African music. They adapted it to Kwaito, and that's why Afrobeat sounds like it does.
So it's hip hop.
No, it's not hip hop. Because that Kwaito,
It's Kwaito hip hop.
Kwaito, right? The sound, the sound itself.
Is it hip hop though?
Kwaito, the sound. I'm talking about Kwaito.
Is it hip hop?
Hip hop.
It's
Kwaito,
not.
the sound. Yes.
Okay.
It's not hip-hop. But once the rappers started rapping on Kwaito,
It made
became
it hip-hop.
Yes, because they took a hip hop style.
So if I rapped on Afrobeat, it's hip hop now.
If you rap on Afrobeats, yes, anything you rap on
Man,
is
you'll
hip-hop.
say anything.
No, anything you rap on is hip hop. Once you rap on it, it's hip hop. It becomes hip hop because the rapping comes from hip hop culture. It's one of the pillars of rap. You understand? It's one of the pillars of rap of hip hop.
So you're saying what Zola, what
That's
Kabelo, what
hip-hop.
Mapaputi,
That's hip-hop.
what Brown
That's
Dash, what
hip-hop.
Seshman.
That's hip hop.
You're saying they were doing hip hop.
They were doing hip hop
on Kwaito.
Yes, they were doing
Rapping on Kwaito.
But once before that, when they were mixing the rave tracks, Abo Oskido were mixing the rave tracks at 45 RPM. That was just Kwaito in terms of the beat. It was just instrumental at first.
What differentiates Kwaito
It's
and
when
hip
you
hop?
start rapping on it.
No,
Now,
but they were rapping on Kwaito also,
yes.
on Kwaito beats.
Yeah, no. When they started rapping,
So
it
just
became-
because when
it
you
became
start
hip-hop.
rapping, it makes it hip hop.
It became hip hop because of they got it from hip hop. The rapping, they got it from hip hop.
But what if hip hop got it from here? But at the time it wasn't called Kwaito, it was way before.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, why are you saying yeah?
Because like what if before hip hop and they was just doing what they was doing, what does it make it then?
Okay, let me tell
Because
you.
back in the day, it probably wasn't Kwaito, but it was something else that was an African drum or an African culture that
They
sort
were
of
doing the praise singing.
yes,
Yes.
and that became hip hop in the States. So would you
Yeah.
say they took it from hip hop or they brought it
So
back home?
the rapping part of it, right, was not part of hip hop. Rapping has always been part of African culture. Praise singers have always rapped. You understand? They've always done that. They've always done that poetry. You know what I mean?
What is hip hop?
So once they merged,
Hip-hop is
into
a culture.
It's a culture. Once they merged the music, the rapping, the lifestyle, it became like their religion. Hip hop is actually a religion. That's what it is. It's like our belief system. You know what I mean? We believe in hip hop. You know what I mean? We speak the same language all over the world. The
Yeah,
reason why
I
you're
agree with
able
that.
to-
I agree with that.
You love hip hop. That's the reason why you were able to fit into South African hip hop so easily because it's the same religion. We just use different languages. You know what I mean? We just use different dialects. So the understanding, right? The understanding, and this is why your role is so important. I know I haven't said this to you, but this is why your role, the mere fact that you could understand what we're doing here and come here to actually embrace the culture, it's in its
Ngicela
essence.
namanye amanzi futhi for no
Yeah.
or ngicela namshaya ngiyeka.
He needs Jaeger.
And then he won't stop.
I shot that in the coffee.
So when you came into our environment and actually started learning the culture itself and the music that we're making from here, you know, what you did is that you validated what we've been trying to do in South Africa because a lot of our rappers, a lot of our hip hop artists thought that they need to impress Americans because that's where hip hop originated from the Bronx. You know what I mean? From that party in 1973 on the 11th of August, whatever. You know what I mean? It originated from there and we've been trying to emulate that for the longest time, right? And it took us being recognized and being validated by people who started it there, right? For us to actually recognize that we are actually doing it in our own way, which is great.
But why did we need, or why would you say, or would you think that we needed to be validated by them when a lot of talk all over the world actually says even that party when hip hop started, that actual culture started in Africa?
Yeah, well, yeah. So the reason why we needed that validation, I don't know why we didn't need that validation. To be honest, we didn't need it, but we looked for it. We sought it. If you look at all our rappers, right? All of them have tried to sound as American as possible. And the more American you sounded at some point in time, the more successful you were, right? So our most American sounding rapper, right? I think maybe in between the years 2017 to 2018, 2019, right, was the most successful rapper in the country at that time. It was Nasty C. You understand? And it was merely because he sounded almost American, right? He sounded almost American, and also he was rapping better than the American rappers that were out there.
What attracted you to Nasty? Because
His-
he's the first
His
artist.
style, honestly, when I first, before I even reacted to him, I didn't even know he was going to be speaking English. Like, I didn't know what it was going to sound like. But when I heard it, It sounded different, but it still sounded American, but it was different. That's what attracted me to it. You know what I mean? Because it's not the same sound as we have in America, but it's still different. You know what I mean? Like it's different, but it sounds kind of similar.
Because here at home, the sentiments would be, yeah, the more we sound like Americans, the more we don't. That's not what they're also trying to vibe to. They're trying to vibe with something they haven't heard before, something authentically African.
Yeah, and that's what it is, though. It's still something I haven't heard before.
Even you've said that about Nasty C in the past.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, the initial, when you hear him for the first time, right? It's like the Bieber effect. It's like, oh, this little kid, he sounds so dope, right?
He's no longer a kid anymore.
Yeah, but that's the effect when you hear him for the first time. You think, oh, yes, this young kid, oh, he raps so well. You're impressed by his rapping skill. But after we are first impressed by your rapping skill, now we want to know who you are as a person, as a human being, and your essence. And that essence is lost when you're trying to emulate an American who you are not. Because you don't come from America. We want to hear what it's like to come from Ilovo in KZN, you know what I mean, in Durban. We want to know that. But you're not giving us that. You're giving us what it's like when you are in LA, what it's like when you are in Atlanta, what it's like when you are visiting these places that we've seen on the TV. And you're not telling us what is the story of those places that we see on the TV. 21 Savage can tell us about Atlanta. What's his name? Little Baby can tell us about Atlanta. You know what I mean? Kendrick can tell us about Compton and LA. He can tell us about that authentically. You can tell us about Ilovo, Durban. You know what I mean? You can tell us about that, and you're not doing that, which means that, yes, you might impress us initially, but after a while, we'll get over it. Like, it's like, okay, fine, we know you can do that, but what is the depth? What is the depth of your story?
What is the young...
But maybe that's not his audience. Maybe that's not what he's trying to do.
20-something-year-old American saying.
Maybe that's not his audience. Maybe that's not something he wants to do. Maybe he wants to pursue being a rapper in America. So to pursue being a rapper in America, he needs to be a rapper in America. Like,
No, that's true. But what are the type of rappers that are making it in America? Right?
Because even our actors do the same, right?
Yeah.
When they go to movies and... Or maybe they even are just ordinary people. Stay in America for 10 years, come back, yo, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the accent you have to do, because like if you're in
You have
America,
to?
yeah, you have to. You have
Can we
to
do that accent again? Can we do that accent?
No,
You know what I'm saying? You know
You get what I'm saying?
No. The thing that you have to- you were at Kwesta Festival. I had to translate. They speak English. I had
Yo.
to translate your English.
Really?
Yes, because you were speaking American.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She did not understand what I
What?
was saying.
Where?
The Kota
Kwesta
Festival.
Festival. So
yeah.
it's
Oh, the
Kwesta
Kwesta Festival in Soweto.
Yeah. So I
Big
took
up
him
to
there.
you. You went to the Soweto
I
Kwesta
did.
Festival.
Shout out to
Big up
King
to you.
Kota, by the way. Oh my God.
Shout out to my guy, Trevor Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
King
No, he
Kota.
hooked us up.
He did.
We bought tickets to go there, but when we were there, we were like, nah, we need to be in the VIP. So we hit up Trevor Zungu last minute, like, yo, we know we didn't arrange, but here are our tickets. He's like, no, don't worry.
Facts,
He hooked you guys up?
He did.
Oh,
He
big
did.
up
Shout
to
out.
Trevisto.
Much
I
love,
miss you,
for
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Bkos. He's a
So-
good father, by
so-
the way.
so-
Big up to him for
so
being a good father.
Translating like the American accent to a South
I didn't even know it
African.
was that thick.
That's the thing, is that his American accent is very thick. So when you go to the States, you have to have that accent, otherwise they cannot hear you. Right now, Utuso, if she can speak in a normal South African accent, she won't be able to get milk.
They'll hear her, but there's certain...
She won't get milk.
No, there's certain
That's
things
what-
they can't hear,
Yeah.
like water.
Yeah.
When you say water, what?
Yeah?
What? You have to say water.
Yeah.
Are you
Water.
saying the excuses then? You say it so often that you end up getting used to it.
Because
Yeah.
you need it.
I feel,
Yeah.
I do a lot of that here. Like when I hear y'all say a lot of stuff, I end up saying it like y'all say it. Yeah.
You understand? So that's the way. It's to assimilate to the culture. It's to be one with the people, to speak in the language. And sometimes, after a while of staying in the States, you get used to that. But I mean, it comes back. Your accent will come back after a while. But what I was saying about him translating the culture here as well and translating it into hip hop is that for all the fans of Nasty C, for all the fans of A-Reese, for all the fans of that American Amakoporosh style, right? When they see him embracing Amapiano, when they see him dancing to a Kwaito beat, right? They then see that what we've been trying to emulate, right? Because we're trying to show that we're as good as the Americans in making music. We're not trying to show that we're as good at copying them. No, we're imitating them because that is the standard for the world's best music. If you look at the Billboard charts, you look at everything, the Grammys, that is the standard for, this is the world's best. Adele sounds like she's an American on her songs, even though she's a British girl, because she's competing with the world's best. She's competing with Whitney Houston. She's competing with Beyonce. She's competing with Mariah Carey, even though they're all on the same label. They're still on the, what's that? Crimes Against Humanity. They're still on the same Crimes Against Humanity card. what we are trying to do right now as South Africans as well, right, is now tell our own people that what we're doing is world class.
That's
what
why
we're
I
trying
think
to do.
Amapiano is it. I'm telling you. It's like Nigeria with their music. Like, they ran with it. Like, they stick to that. And then look at them. Like, the United States, like, it's done flooded United States. Afrobeats flooded it. You know what I mean? So I feel like Amapiano is next. Like,
What made you move from Nasty C to Amapiano?
it was different. It's a different sound. It's a different feel. It's a different vibe. And definitely, like, when I got into the country and went to groove and actually, like, felt it, yo, it's different.
What is groove?
It's the club. It's the club.
Where did you learn that?
Yeah, I learned that here. Yeah, it's the club. But no, like once I got here and actually felt, because I always reacted to Amapiano, it was cool. Like, but there's not much you can react to Amapiano. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly just dancing. But when I actually got here and felt the vibe and actually like went to groove and yo, it's different. It's a good feeling. For real. It makes you happy. They're drinking and just vibing.
Yo, it's so amazing. Are you aware that before Amapiano there was a genre called Kom?
Oh, I like that one too.
Oh, you know Kom?
Yeah. What's the DJ Q?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
DJ Lag.
Yes.
Yeah, all
I
of
like
that.
that one too. Yeah.
And before Kom, there was that faster BPM, but not as hardcore as Kom. No, not that sound, but it was like house music.
Yeah. I've heard some
Maybe
house
that was
music.
before
yeah.
your time, but you
No,
never
I've
listened
heard
to
some house
South
music.
African house?
Yeah, I've heard some house music.
Afro house?
I like house music. I like how Kevin Momo is not. He's like private Amapiano, right?
No, Kevin Momo
Kelvin
is,
Momo is
they
private
call it
Amapiano.
private school
Yeah.
Amapiano.
But that's a
Oh,
good
you know
vibe
about
too.
private school Amapiano?
Yeah, that's a good vibe too. It's like more of a chill. I like that one. I like that one. For sure.
I won't lie, that's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Yeah, because like you can just play it.
Yeah, it's like
You
a
know,
good little vibe. Yeah.
You don't need to like I like the album Velo and all these, but those are songs that are like I can hear it groove. But other than that, I know private school. Private school piano. The thing about private school piano, most of it is instrumental. Né?
Yeah.
So I can focus.
It's
I
chill,
can do my
yeah.
work, and the productivity. And also, bro, I'll tell you one thing. When I'm memorizing things like concepts and I'm listening to private school, yahlala, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's what's helped me like study a lot of the stuff that I've been studying. Because I just listen to, while I'm reading, you can read. That's the thing. You can read while listening to private school piano. In fact, I think that Panyaza Lusufi, if he doesn't become premier and he still stays as MEC of education, he needs to ensure that all the classes in Gauteng, all the schools, they play Amapiano during class. That's just instrumental piano in class. The kids will be quiet. They won't be talking, making noise. They'll be vibing. Seriously.
Kids, ne piano,
No,
esquela.
private school, not.
I've seen the videos on YouTube. They not in. This man Nota say anything, bro. I see the two. They on the tables.
Yes, but that's not private school.
Ah, they doing everything,
Private
Nota.
school piano doesn't have you dancing on tables, guys. Let's be honest. Private school is not on the table. Private school piano is the very mellow.
But once that beat starts going, kum.
Yes, but
Yeah,
they know that in
yeah.
the
Those
class.
things of the, not the freeway, the
Yes. But they'll be in class. They'll move around, but they'll be reading their books.
Will
They'll
they?
be reading their books.
I don't care how private it is. I don't care. They doing some type of challenge, Nota. If that music is on, they coming through. They probably dressed up. They probably acting like that. I seen a YouTube video. They acting like they in Conquer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And they'll play.
Oh, conquer is conquer.
Yes. Bro.
Oh, conquer.
And they'll come through like taking admission. You know what I'm saying? They got the sign with all the alcohol drinks. You feel me? Like, nah, bro. They're not chilling.
Okay.
They're not
Maybe
chilling.
it works for me. I can read the business day while listening to private school Amapiano. For me, it works. You know what I mean? It works. I'm able to read the business day, like no distractions, and I'm able to focus. You know what I mean? For me, it focuses me. When I'm reading a book, trust me, like I cannot. Okay. Also, maybe ADHD makes me struggle to read a book. But when I'm reading a book and I listen to Amapiano, instrumental, I'm able to sit and just read that book and finish chapters.
I get you. There's certain sounds that make you calm and you're able to either sleep or you're able to still study while it's
That
playing
ain't
in the
me.
background.
I ain't
When
gonna
I
hold
was
you.
in primary school, we had classical music playing in our classes. We had classical music. And for me, this private school Amapiano has the same effect that classical music had when I was growing up.
Classical music for me is white people music.
You understand?
Yeah.
You
Like
understand?
Beethoven or something. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Nah.
no.
You understand? So I'd rather listen to private school piano instead of classical music right now and study with that.
Those are
But
my
I mean,
type.
if it doesn't work for you, if it's gonna distract you, then yeah, I don't recommend it.
Yeah, that's gonna distract me. I'm in there.
Kum, 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 kum.
You know what I'm saying?
boom,
Yeah, I'm not
boom,
going. I'm not. It's a distraction. All the beats are gonna go off in my head. Yeah.
Are we gonna have another sound after Amapiano? Let me not say another sound. Let me say, is Amapiano evolving,
Yeah.
or this is the sound that is
Nah,
taking us to the
nah.
world and it's here to stay?
There's different types of Amapiano, in my opinion, from what I'm hearing. There's the club Amapiano, there's the private one, and then there's the Afrobeat Amapiano vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like the music keys. What's that? Salima. Right?
Musa Keys, yeah.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? There's that vibe.
yeah.
And then there's Ashake. I feel like some of his songs sound like it has like that Afro beat,
Ashake?
Amapiano. Ashake.
Because
Sumba with Burna Boy. You never
Oh,
Sumba,
yeah, yes,
Sumba.
you know
yes,
what's
yes.
there.
Yeah.
Explode.
It has that
It's not-
log drum, it has that vibe in it. You know, it has some of that feel.
Because some things they may start in South Africa. But if we are not on the ball, other people are even
Are
going
gonna
to take it
yes.
and take it to the next level and do it better than us.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can't only be major league DJs being the ambassadors
Exactly.
of Amapiano globally.
We even
It
went
can't
to-
only be Uncle Waffles. It can't only be like less than 5 guys or less than 10 people. It can't only be Stokey or we all have to like spread out.
That's-
Abanye base Europe, abanye base
That's why I feel
Europe.
like- that's why I
how
feel
we
like
gonna-
South
that's
Africa-
that's what Nigerians did.
My
blow up
point, my
Afrobeats.
point, my point.
Everybody was
Yes.
everywhere, you know,
Yeah.
all over the
Yes.
world.
Unfortunately,
See, now we are here at home because we're gigging every weekend.
Yeah.
Sometimes just be brave, man. Let's all go everywhere. You know what I mean?
I think the thing is that South African artists have become too dependent on gigging.
Yeah.
You know, like
You think if I'm away from the country for 3 weeks, I'm missing away three
the amount of
three bags.
Let me put it to you like this. Right? Black Coffee's first international tour, he went there because DJ Cleo refused to take small money to do gigs, and DJ Cleo was hot, was the hottest thing. Black Coffee was up and coming at that point in time. Black Coffee said, "It's fine, I'll take those gigs where they're paying me peanuts. I'll do them." And he did gigs for peanuts for years and years and years and years. Now you can't book Black Coffee for less than R250,000.
But Black Coffee in a lot of gigs also, he wasn't even getting paid at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I guess
took
he
the peanuts.
knew
Those
he
are
had a
peanuts.
vision where he knew where he wanted to
So
go.
the thing about the artists from South Africa is that for them to make it overseas, you're not a star like you are in South Africa. So you're gonna be paid peanuts, and they don't want that. You know, like when you're a star, everyone knows you at the mall. And now you
but
go to
peanuts
new
is
country-
still in dollars, bro.
But what I'm trying to say to you is that
It still equals to what you be getting a man's kral or lelon.
for them, they
A
don't.
coffee involved.
Haman Skral, like you're a superstar.
That's what I
They
mean.
open
Like
the
at Coffin
door.
Vibe, how much you gonna get? Maybe at most 50K
Yes.
or 40K.
Yeah.
But in America, they're like, yo,
But
bro,
you're a
we don't have
superstar
much.
there.
We'll give you like 3,000 US.
Yes, that's fine.
It's still like 60K.
1,000
bro.
US, but they don't know you everywhere you go in the US. You're not a superstar there. That's the thing, that they're attached to being a superstar because now they're a superstar. Now they have been nobodies for their whole lives. They finally become somebodies in South Africa, right? Their home country. And then when they move to another country, they're going back to being a nobody. It's a shock to the system. It gets them too scared. And I think that fear, I don't encourage it. I've experienced it myself. You know what I mean? Like for the longest time when we were trying to break Kwesta overseas, like break him overseas, you know, I knew that the biggest stumbling block is that I want this thing more than he does. Because for him, I'm seeing that it's not the same when people are not opening the door, taking pictures wherever we are. We're walking around in the States and no one recognizes you. You're back to square one and you've worked so hard to get to that level. You know what I mean? And that hunger that you had to actually make it disappears as soon as you land in the States and you realize that you have to start from square one again. So a lot of the artists in South Africa, they think that, damn it, starting from square one in another completely different market is going to be very difficult. You know, you look at Major League, all the stuff that they're doing right now, they're taking a knock. They're taking a hit. You know what I mean? But Major League has always been willing to sacrifice themselves for the culture. They're the ones who are building up this platform. They've done balcony mix. We were there for their world record attempt, even though we didn't stay for the whole 75 hours. You know, we're there, but they had the whole game there. You know? And for them, they come from overseas. They're still investing in uplifting the game in SA, but they're out there. they're not taking the gigs that they could be taking right now. I mean, like Major League are part of probably the biggest act that we have in South Africa right now. But they're out there investing in building their brands overseas and building more brands. And we'll see more and more people from South Africa escaping, that whole entire mentality of like, no, I need to be gigging every single weekend. I need to be shutting down the mall wherever I go. I need to make sure that people are taking pictures of me. We'll see more and more of them as we see more and more succeed overseas. But right now, still, people are too scared. They're too scared to start over in a new market. I don't know.
Your take, bro?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around like why is it so important? Like why, like for Kwesta, for example, you were saying like you wanted to break him overseas. Why was that so important?
It's a bigger market.
But why does it matter when y'all have the whole of South Africa?
Because our market, right?
Not even South Africa. There's other countries I see that people tour in here, like
in Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because it's easier to break.
That's a very good
It's
question.
easier
by
to
the way.
break on the continent from America than it is to break.
But
on
who
the
cares about it? Like, why does America so like?
Because America has got a media hegemony on the world. So American media, whatever is in American media, is covered all.
But I
over
feel
the
like
world.
South Africa has their own media.
We do have a media hegemony, right? But once you've come to the top of South Africa's media hegemony, right?
You want more.
You want more.
Yeah, I see
and
what
you
you
want the
mean.
continent. And the easiest way to get the rest of the continent is to either do it from New York or London. Those are the two places that you can do it. In fact, London is the best place to do it from.
But Major League became huge on YouTube by being here at home.
By being at home.
Yes, but...
And I always say to every, sorry to come in there, I always say to everybody right now, not everybody, as much as I was saying earlier, like let's go out, let's be everywhere, but let's also recognize that we're living in this age where I can be international just by being here.
at home.
There's a guy
Exactly.
called Romeo Makota.
Yeah, that's
Got like
right.
hundreds
Exactly.
of thousands.
But
of-
when did that happen?
Just for mixing online.
When did that happen?
He's already
That
international.
happened in lockdown, right? Let's not forget that. And this
But
whole-
lockdown,
No,
it still
I-
has an
sorry,
effect
let me
on
go.
now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Lockdown still has an effect on now, right? But lockdown was when we were listening to mixes. We weren't going to the club. We were listening to mixes online. So we need to look at DJs like DJ D-Nice, right? Who had a collaboration, and shout out to Fadia, who's at Clubhouse now, but she was on she was at Instagram at that point in time, making sure that D-Nice was doing all those mixes. You got Michelle Obama checking into the mixes online. You had verses happening. So all that content that was happening online, we had an audience online, right? And that audience online was naturally looking for something new, something emerging. And it just so happened to coincide with the rise of Amapiano, right? We thought before lockdown that Amapiano would be dead by Easter 2020 in South Africa. Like, because every single genre that had been emerging prior to that died out after a while.
No, it
Gqom
didn't
had
die
died
out. It evolved.
Yeah.
And I also
yeah,
Amapiano definitely evolved.
Gqom made us so fearful for Amapiano because we thought that Gqom had its moment and we thought that it's going to grow. And
it went international,
It went
though.
international,
It did.
Right? But after a while, South Africans got over it. South Africa got over it. Why? Because because we didn't create big superstars outside of the country who were able to travel. The Babes Were Dumos, yes, they were on the Black Panther soundtracks and everything else, but it's not like Babes Were Dumos now touring the world like we see Moonchild doing right now. You know what I mean? Whereas with Amapiano, once lockdown hit and we are listening to the music, whether or not you're at Groove or not, you're listening on TikTok and all that stuff, people then got into it naturally. And it's good music. So people, once they hear some good music, they want to want more and more and more and more. And they started consuming it. And it just happened by luck that Major League were prepared for that opportunity and to take it to the next level. And once Balcony Mix started trending in London, because people were actually streaming it in London, a lot of people who were missing home, a lot of South Africans who were missing home as well were streaming it. Once that started trending in London, that's when the actual genre itself started spreading all over the rest of the globe, and especially on the continent in places where it wasn't spreading prior. And that's because we actually had a center. When you look at South Africa, right? Outside of South Africa, there isn't, like, when you look at Johannesburg, outside of Johannesburg, there isn't a place in Africa where you've got so much of Africa in one city. You've got every single country in Africa, you've got it in Johannesburg.
it is Hillbrow.
Yeah, that's Johannesburg. Hillbrow is every part of Africa is in Johannesburg.
Every part of the world.
Yeah, every part of the world is in Johannesburg as well. But in specifically Africa, there isn't another city in Africa where you can say you'll find every single person from all 54 states, all other 54 states, if there's 55. You know what I mean? You won't find that anywhere else. In Lagos, you won't find everybody from all the other 54 states. If you go to Nairobi, you won't find everybody else. If you go to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, you won't find every other. You can only find it in Johannesburg. Outside of Africa, you can find it in London. In London, you can find people from every single country in Africa. In London, you can find them. In New York, because you've got the entire world in New York, you can find that. So Johannesburg, London, New York, those are the centers that you need. Those are the cities that you need if you want a genre to blow up all across the continent. You need to make sure that it makes it in New York. You need to make sure that it makes it in London. You need to make sure that it makes it in Johannesburg, because that's where you can get all the diaspora. The diaspora that comes from the rest of Africa into South Africa. The diaspora that leaves Africa and goes into Europe is in London. The diaspora that goes into the Americas is in New York. Now you've got all of Africa. All of Africa. And that's what Amapiano has got. It's got those three cities. I was listening to a podcast on Music Business Worldwide, and they were saying that we need to stop looking at genres now, and we need to stop looking
music.
and we need to stop looking at countries. The way music is moving now, the scenes are what matters more than anything else. It's the scene in Johannesburg that's blowing up. It's the scene in London that's blowing up. It's the scene in New York that's blowing up. You know, and you are seeing a lot of music moving from the West to the East in America. So it blew up in America, in LA, where all the studios are. But because the music is not coming from there now, right? It's coming from where it lands first. It lands first in New York. So now you're starting to see more music moving from East to West. So like I was saying earlier, like, yes, Amapiano is making inroads in New York. We will see it move westwards as time develops, as more and more people travel. You know what I mean? Once it becomes winter, everyone who has...
It's already big in London.
Yeah, it's big in London. But in New York, it's important because those people that are based in New York that work there, I know that a lot of them, when it's summertime, that side, when it's wintertime, that side, right, they go to California because it's warmer in California. So all the people that are there for the New York summer, when they go to California for the winter, it's going to buzz.
No, they don't go there for the winter. Everybody chases summer all around the world, especially not successful people per se, people who can afford it.
Yeah.
And they love the music so much.
Yeah.
They chase it all over the world.
Yeah.
Other people chase their favorite artists all over the world, or they chase their favorite DJs all around the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times the events happen in most places that are summer season. And that's why there's more parties.
Yeah.
That's why there's Mykonos, there's Ibiza,
Everything that happens in
that
summer.
European market.
Everything that happens in summer, from an entertainment and film perspective, right, happens in summer, right? They do a lot of their stuff on the East Coast, like in the summer in the States. As soon as it becomes winter, they do all their stuff in the West Coast because the weather is warmer. It allows them to do more stuff. So that natural migration that happens every single year when it becomes winter, what I'm trying to say is that those people that live in both, because Jay-Z is one of those people. He's got a house in LA, that's his mansion where he lives, but he's a New Yorker. You know what I mean? Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz, same thing. They've got a house in LA that they live in when it's winter in New York. And they're New York people, they're New Yorkers. So when the New Yorkers go,
uzokutshela sengathi uyabacava labantu mara kuhleli American la mara uzokutshela le way ne American lo self mangala ukuthi cho lo muntu wazi more than me, understand?
No, but I mean, like,
I love you, bro. Continue, sorry for disturbing you. Continue.
Abo Swizz are very well connected.
I just love your
to a lot
passion.
of South Africans.
Continue, sorry, bro.
Yeah, no, but Abo Swizz are very well connected to a lot of South Africans. I mean, like Uswizi, when he did a video, when Alicia Keys did a video playing Focalistic song, right? That's because Tebogo Malope, the guy who directed the Spirit music video, he's the one that sent Focalistic songs to Swizz Beatz to promote it. You know what I mean? To just do a video of it. You know, Kwesta. And then it ended up resulting in Davido now wanting to do the remix. And you can see how that has affected the growth of Focalistic's career, because he became big in West Africa now, that whole entire collaboration. And what I'm trying to say is that those ambassadors, about Swizz Beatz, don't look at Swizz Beatz as a guy who doesn't know what's going on in South Africa. He's one of the ambassadors that's pushing it.
And let me agree. And guys, go check it out. It's here on the Hustlers Corner. When I was sitting down with Black Coffee Unati, my brother, that's when we were setting the world record for the longest music radio show 2 years ago. We actually just reposted the interview a few months ago. Check it out here on the platform. Black Coffee says there's an art piece that he gifted to not Swizz Beatz, to Pharrell. And then he says, yo, this is Nelson Makamo. This is not even the next big thing. This is the greatest we have right now. What about Fitch? This is, you see, they're crazy over you. They see you over the internet. So, so he says, Pharrell, this is Nelson Makamo. Nelson Makamo is one of the best we have. He's incredible. He's amazing. He has a piece. He's gifting it to you. Go check out that interview, guys. Black Coffee, when we were sitting with him on the Hustlers Corner. Actually, it was for the World Record experience. Swiss Beat says, because coffee is like, it's a gift. In his mind, this is Nelson Makamo. This is how he knows him. Like, you know, I'm just showing, it's like him giving you an art piece from like somebody who's awesome, killing it right now here. And just to show but you also not on that level of the understanding of who this artist is and the level at which they're at. And then you're like, yeah, my guys and whatever. And he assumes because you are Pharrell, you know, you've got your entourage, you've got your guys, you'll just put it somewhere, you know what I mean? Like your guys will, Pharrell was like, yeah, no. So Coffee says, I don't know if maybe, I don't know if he'd appreciated the gift. It was just an excuse maybe or I don't know what it was, but he sort of was like, yeah, I'll get it next time. It's, you know, we don't have, you know what I mean? And then Coffee in his mind, because he understands Makamo and the level at which he's at, and because Coffee is very well savvy when it comes to art itself. He's like, yo, I just gifted this guy like Nelson's most amazing piece. And Nelson also, for him to agree for this piece to be given to Pharrell, he knows what it could do for him, but it's one of his favorite pieces and he doesn't want to gift it. But because Coffee is asking him to, he ends up, and then Coffee extends the gesture to Pharrell. And as you check out the interview, you'll see Pharrell, yeah, but I'll get it next time, or maybe you guys will courier it and whatever. And then guess what happens? A few weeks later, that very same piece that Pharrell did not take is on Time magazine. And then Nelson Makamo makes the cover for Time magazine. And he becomes the first African, like South African artist to make Time magazine. And that actual art piece that he was gifting to Pharrell is on Time magazine. Wow. And then he sends him a message on WhatsApp a few weeks later. He's like, yo, bro. He didn't even say much. He says he screen grabbed the Time magazine cover and that art piece. And then he sent to Pharrell. He's like, yo, bro.
Right.
You understand?
Do you understand what that means, right? Do you understand what that means? The depth of what that means. Now, the value of Nelson has immediately quadrupled 10x or 100x in Pharrell's head.
Right.
But Nelson has always just been that great, but just Pharrell did not actually even recognize what he was being gifted. Do you understand? And that's a world we're living in, that Coffee can say to Nduduzo Makhathini, let me link you up to some of the guys that I know. Let's see what can happen. And then Nduduzo Makhathini, we actually did an interview here on the Hustlers Corner, and the sound was so bad. You know, my heart was so sad. He was going on a European tour. We wanted to release that episode. When we listened to it, the sound was so bad. And he will tell you just this. I was so disappointed, but we were still going to do another interview.
Blue Note Records.
Yeah, that's Coffee's connection, bro. So Coffee connects him to Blue Note. And what happens? Now Nduduzo Makhathini is an international artist. Now you look at Euphonic, Temba. Euphonic is global because Coffee played a role in contributing, helping Temba's career become global. He's done the same with Da Capo. He's done the same with a lot of us when he sees us all over the world. Coffee would see me on Instagram that I'm in New York. And yo, bro, I see you in New York on Instagram. By the way, I'm around. I'm landing tonight. I'm in studio tonight with... I remember he invited me into studio with Akon. Chris Brown shows up. After that, we go to a club. He's playing for like a whole 4 hours in New York. And and then Coffee hits me up at the one time. Yo, bro, I can see on Instagram you in LA. I'm hitting Coachella. Come through. Come with whoever. I'll put you up not only in the VIP, you'll be with me. And this is Coffee's caravan, like this is at Coachella, like they give you like a caravan as a dressing room.
Yeah, trailer.
It's got trailer. It's got drinks there. It's got like wardrobe, makeup, whatever. Everything. Coffee's trailer right next to Jamiroquai's trailer. Right next to Jamiroquai's trailer, Beyonce's trailer. Right next, Coffee got us all in that environment. Myself, Oskido, go back in my Instagram timeline. A few years back, just before COVID, 2 years before COVID, myself, Oskido, Coffee, my friends from LA, we're hanging out there. Like, it's not even backstage. This is, forget VIP. This is like Beyonce's trailer is there, like flipping Jamiroquai, and we with Coffee. Like, the love That so I've heard you on some interviews where you're like, I would expect OGs like Coffee to be contributing more to our culture. I would expect Coffee maybe to be playing even Amapiano. And I understand where you're coming from, but for me is the contribution could be more than just playing the music. Things like that. Where Coffee embraces and he opens up his own success and shine to all of us. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen him do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, for me, like, you need to be privileged to be in LA when Coffee's in LA, you know? And I feel like at the level that he's at, he's more interested in helping the guys who can already make it to LA.
Before you continue, by the way, to give you context, he's been a critic of Coffee for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So you understand the context.
Yeah.
So continue, Sean.
So
Okay.
for me,
Yeah.
our OGs, what we need them to do is to do for those who cannot do anything for themselves, those who cannot be international. If Coffee plays Amapiano will be much further.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that's true.
You understand? An American is telling you, all Black
If
Coffee
he
needs to do.
played,
If he played Amapiano as a genre would be much further. All the people that you're saying, oh, we need more artists to go overseas, those people would have a platform because Coffee's playing at the Mirage. By the time this episode plays, right, he'll be starting the first of 3 days at the Mirage. So this Friday, right now, as we speak right now, obviously this is South African time, né? So let's say in 6 hours, right? In 6 hours, when it's 6 p.m. No, in 12 hours from now. When it's midnight this side, you can go and you can watch the live stream from the Brooklyn Mirage. Coffee is playing there for 3 days straight. Now, that's one of the biggest venues, dance venues in New York. The Brooklyn
You
Mirage.
start playing on Amapiano.
If you were to play Amapiano, bring that there. Bring in all, Major League can fly through. All of those guys can fly through. And I've been critical, not just of Coffee, of Shimza as well. All of our DJs, because what I feel is hampering them, né? Is that I have it too. And I see it in hip hop as well. The same way I've been trying to pull our hip hop artists. I'm not just critical of Abo Kofi because they're on the house side, right? I'm also critical of the guys who are on the hip hop side, the guys who are in the trap side. I'm pulling them all closer to the center, on this side and on this side, to the sound that's actually driving South African music forward, the sound that's actually putting us on the world map right now. And some of us are just too in love with the original genre that we started with, that we came up with, and we want to push that genre, right? And we see any other emerging genre as competition, but we need to start thinking of ourselves as national ambassadors and not just specific sound or genre ambassadors. A Coffee shouldn't be seeing himself as an ambassador of house music. He should be seeing himself as an ambassador of South African music. You understand what I'm saying?
Now that he's at the point that he's at. For
Now
sure,
that he's at,
yeah.
it's so easy,
I
yeah.
agree,
It's so
I agree.
easy. Even a Nasty C, same thing. Same thing. He shouldn't be seeing himself as an ambassador for South African trap. He should be seeing himself as an ambassador for South African music in general.
Because now he's at a position where he can introduce a new sound that's kind of similar to house, but it's like a, you know what I mean? It's like a more,
A progression.
yeah, a progression.
You know,
I
So
agree.
I'm a DJ, right? I've made music. I mean, I know I've probably never shared with you. My history is I come from the music industry. And I did extremely well. I had a very successful career in music and I've helped a whole lot of other musicians succeed. And I can come to a gig and want to play my set. And I want to play my private school house set. But I'm booked in Konka for 1 hour. The owner is running a business there. The owner is advertised that I'm going to be there. And the owner is running a business, has to make money. The bar has to flow. People have to be excited. And they have to be screaming, to be ordering crazy champagne. And I'm running a business. So if I'm going to book you, you go on the decks. My crowd is dead. Maybe for the first 15 minutes, I understand you're still building up. Maybe if you're a Coffee or you're a Tira or a DJ Fresh or those big guys, even if I booked you for an hour, I'd understand if you go for an hour and a half or 2 hours. But for like 45 minutes, the crowd is still, but you're my headliner for the night. And I'm not saying if Coffee plays Amapiano, that's what's gonna happen to his gigs. But you need to remember as well that as much as he is Coffee, he's got audiences to deal with. Audiences that belong to people who've organized those gigs.
See,
Sorry?
I was gonna say I was thinking about that too, but go ahead.
Yeah, if I'm the owner of Ultra Music and I've convinced the team, like, guys, let's go with these South African DJs. We started it a couple of years ago and they're coming and they're, now, guys, let's book Coffee again. Let's book whoever, Temba, let's go to Dakapo, let's go to Eno Napa, let's go, you know what I mean? And then they come and they're playing Amapiano and the audience that came to Ultra expects house music, expects to be going crazy over Afro tech or house, international house music. And so things like that. Do you think about things like that?
I think even if it's like that, he could still maybe at the end give like, yo, I got this new vibe. Let me know how y'all feel. Or not even have to say that. Just like throw it in there at the end or throw it in the beginning, like just to see how the crowd reacts. Like,
I just think Amapiano
what I mean?
cannot lose.
I get you. Sorry?
I've seen Amapiano. I don't think when it comes, I hear you on any other genre. When it comes to Amapiano, right? The reason why Amapiano is so successful is because Amapiano, right, was generated in a country, South Africa, which has access to all the world's best music and was able to pick different influences. So we were able to take the 808 from trap music, right, and convert it into a log drum and play the melody that we learned from the Atlanta trap music. So we've got the Atlanta trap elements inside this piano. We've got the house elements from Chicago inside. From the European house music, we've got that.
Don't give out the wrong direction when I know time to making the world believe as if Amapiano influences come from overseas. Amapiano influences come from local. Bro.
No, they do.
They come from Kwaito, they come from Afro pop, they come from...
That's it. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is this, right? In South Africa, you've got European house that is successful on South African dance floors because South Africa loves music in general. We're not like Americans. Americans are very insular thinking. They only see themselves. South Africans, we see everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So we take what we like from European house, we take it and we incorporate it into what we're doing because we've got our own culture, right? But we can appreciate other people's culture. That's how humble we are. We can appreciate other people's culture and take something from them. We can take something from the trap, from the Atlanta people. We can take from everywhere in the world, right? And then we combine it with our Kwaito rhythm, our dances. And once we take all of those elements from music, right? And then we incorporate our dances to it, right? We create something new that has got something for everybody. The same way they can recognize some of the elements from the European house when they listen to Amapiano. That's why they dance to it. They can recognize some of the elements from Chicago house when they listen to Amapiano. That's why they dance to it. They can recognize the bass, the way the bass is thumping from their trap music. That's why they recognize it over there. And that's why it's working so well. So I get what you're saying in terms of being married to certain genres and also having an expectation to fulfill to the crowd that actually books you.
And somebody else that pays your bag.
Yeah.
But then again, I also, maybe from my side also to your point, I understand where you're coming from. I think as you were speaking, I started thinking of, I don't know if you heard Zex Bantwini's set when Osama broke out at Kunya before he actually released the song.
That one song?
Yeah, and there was a time when he was dedicating Umsebenzi Wami.
Yeah.
But he played a vocal on that, still a house set, but you can still hear some Amapiano vocals.
Yeah.
I think maybe, and Kofi can do that well. He's been doing it for many years.
He can.
And I hope this podcast maybe inspires him to do that.
The thing is this, the reason why I put so much pressure on Kofi, right? I put so much pressure on Kofi, I held him that high, is because after Mandela, he was the first person that, when I left the country, they told me about. When I left the country the first time, they say, oh, Nelson Mandela, right? And then after a while, people forgot about Mandela because he passed on for so long. Nowadays, when I leave the country, they tell me, oh, you're from South Africa, Black Coffee. You understand? That power is something that he doesn't know because he's not me. He's not someone else other than him.
Trust me, he knows.
No, well...
You'd be with him in Coachella, Chinese, Japanese,
that I
people
understand.
from all over the world coming for pictures. I don't even think in South Africa understand the star power that he has.
Yes, but I understand that when he's there, right, he won't see it the way where no one... Like, I'm at an airport in Atlanta and a random guy is cleaning. He said, oh, where are you from? I'm from South Africa. Oh, Black Coffee. You understand? He can't experience that because it's like Kanye. He says the worst thing is that he cannot ever see himself on stage. You know what I mean? Coffee cannot experience how it is to be a South African. And as being a South African, you are being placed in the same country as Black Coffee, not Nelson Mandela. He cannot see that transition because when people say, oh, you've come from the culture of Nelson Mandela, I understood that. Because, like, who's more famous than Mandela, dog? It's like Michael Jackson. So, basically, Coffee is our Michael Jackson right now. You know what I mean? And the power and the influence. With great power comes great responsibility. So that's why I've been heavily critical. And it's not just him. It's a whole lot of...
So you don't hate coffee?
No, not at all. Not at all.
You respect coffee?
Yes. Great respect. You know, to get that far, right? To get that far takes a lot of sacrifice, lots of hard work. That's why I said in the beginning, I said, Coffee, his opportunity came from DJ Cleo being at the height of his popularity. At the height, when nobody knew who Black Coffee was. He was still part of Shana. You know what I mean? At the height of his popularity, you know, he went out there and took gigs that, it was nothing for him. You know what I mean? And look what he made of that. You know, he took the entire country on his shoulders. And he still carries the entire country on his shoulders. Like, we are known as South Africans because of Black Coffee's fame. Like, that's why they know us. They know us because of Black Coffee's fame. It's no longer because of Mandela.
And no, there's a lot of people. There's Trevor Noah. Yeah, of course, Trevor. You probably knew Trevor Noah before you knew Coffee, right?
No.
Yeah.
So I think we're all playing our own roles in different ways.
Well, in America.
Sorry, go ahead.
In America.
You did, right?
Yeah.
But in Europe, I don't think they know Trevor Noah like they know Coffee.
They do. No, they
Trevor
do. They do.
Really?
Yeah, they do, bro.
But Trevor Noah's on
Trevor is
TV.
huge.
Oh,
I know Trevor's huge.
maybe from a comedy.
No, forget comedy. Trevor's huge as
I
an
don't know how I
ambassador.
knew Trevor Noah before. Honestly.
Yeah, no,
I
but
couldn't
Trevor's
I just
huge.
knew who Trevor Noah was.
And let's not compare. And you can't
Oh, yeah,
compare
because they're in different
But
fields.
it's beautiful that they're both our ambassadors.
Yes, they're
right.
both
So,
ambassadors.
so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Well, either way, they're both ambassadors, right, in different fields, right? From a musical perspective, Coffee is who is the benchmark for South Africans. Like,
Music,
they want to hear from Coffee. Okay, Coffee, who's hot in your country? If he was now at the forefront of actually pushing Amapiano forward, I think we'd be 10 steps ahead of where we are right now. Like, we'd be much further ahead than where we are right now. Because if you look at it, Kabza, as talented as he is, he doesn't have the rapport internationally, to carry the sound like Coffee can.
Yet.
Yeah. But
Yeah, he'll probably grow.
But
You
that's
need
the
to
thing,
remember, Coffee is my generation. Coffee's in his
Exactly.
40s.
But my thing is that
Kabza
he'll
is still
grow,
young. He's in his,
but he'll need to
mid-late
do
20s?
those 10 years that Coffee did of grinding. What I'm trying to say is that there's no way he'll catch up to Coffee. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he'll catch up to Coffee. There's no way you can catch up to Coffee.
Yeah, but he's writing his own journey. Just like you're
Yeah,
saying,
he's writing-
Amapiano, guys, artists, producers, DJs, everybody, the dancers, everybody's part of that culture. They're writing their own journey. Every generation writes their own history. We wrote our own history with Kwaito. We wrote our own history with house music. Abo Mampincha, Abo Babes, they wrote their own history with Qom.
Yeah.
Abo Sislira,
Yeah, they
Abo
wrote-
Mafikizolo, they wrote their own history with Afropop, and they're still going. Abo Zonke. The young guys right now with Amapiano, they are writing their own history.
Yeah, they are writing their own history.
And every generation has to do that. The older generations or the generations before might not understand it. They might criticize it. They might be critical of it. But the young guys, just like when we came in with Kwaito, or when we came in making our
said
house
it's not
music at
music.
the time, we're criticized by the older guys.
I see that, but for me, like, as older guys, I feel like from my generation, I felt like we missed out on having the previous generation guide us. I was able to get so much further than my contemporaries, my peers, because I actually went out and sought out the previous generation and actually went to DJ Sphesihle and said, listen, you're an OG, I'm here to learn from you. I'm going to suck it out of you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to wait for you to start a foundation or something. I went to Lance Stir, to the offices. I'm going to suck this information out of you. I went to Bada Bing myself. Not every kid has got that confidence. Not every kid comes from a home where they encourage you to go out there and speak to your heroes. You know what I mean? Some people are still very timid. And if we look at like a lot of our people from the township, that is not encouraged. Like people from the township, they don't have that self-confidence because they still think, ish, langbuya corner, that still is a burden on their shoulders. They say, maybe I'm not deserving of actually having an audience with DJ Sphesihle. Maybe I'm not deserving of having an audience with Black Coffee. So that mentality, right, coupled with the fact that our successful superstars themselves, right, they end up competing with the newer stars because that's how the industry actually makes it seem. It makes it seem like, oh, these new ones are now coming to take our bread. So there's that animosity that's already there from the new generation that's coming against the incumbents. So the distance between those two generations can only be broken up by the older ones. It cannot be broken. We cannot expect the kids to reach out to their OGs. It needs to be the OGs that are reaching down to the kids and pulling them up, And that's the responsibility that I would like to impress upon a whole lot more OGs. Myself, people say, oh no, you force yourself into situations. Yes, because I need to teach these kids. I need to be forceful. I need to actually go out there because no one did it for me.
And what I hear from a lot of OGs, which is what has happened to me, there's a lot of them that I've liked over the past couple of years. When you reach out to guys, especially when they're popping, they can see that it's you, they can appreciate that. And I think there's just that mindset of, OG is trying to become relevant through me again, type of thing.
That's the
and
thing.
they don't understand that you're trying to reach out to be like, yo, like you dope, I love your vibe, and I'm not even trying to collaborate with
And
you.
I've been there before.
And then they just hit you with the cold shoulder sometimes. That's what a lot of the OGs would say.
Yes, no, that's true.
But then you
I get
got
rejected.
OGs like Oskido still killing it, collaborating with the youngsters. You know Oskido? You can't not know Oskido. You react to South African music. He's the godfather of South African music. Bro.
No, I'll put you on.
You have to meet him.
What's his name?
No, Oskido. He's
Oskido.
our OG.
Yeah, he's like a what in America? Give him a Dre? Yeah, Dr. Dre.
No, not
Because the
Dr.
music
Dre.
producer,
Yeah,
we all
but-
found him in the game. He still has
Nah.
success till today through business, but he still releases music till today. And all the greatest acts, or you can't talk about South African music history and not mention his name or not mention his record label. Actually, because almost half of South African music biggest stars over the past 2-3 decades come from his label.
Yeah. So like, look, he's like a mixture between Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. Like he's
No,
inside this-
ungakhulumi
Okay, not Mlungu.
Khuluma
But-
ngabodaki, sure.
Yeah, but the thing that we don't have in America, you guys don't have like, he's like Quincy Jones actually.
Okay. Quincy Jones.
That's
Quincy
the way.
Jones, ne?
Because everything
Yeah.
happens at Oskido's house.
Yeah. So whether you're talking Tandy, so you're talking Mafiki Zolo, you're talking Black Motion, you're talking even Black Coffee as well. Is that a contribution there? You're talking DJ
Everybody
Dira,
came
you're
out of
talking TS
Oskido's
Records,
house.
us, and still today, still a very humble Groot man.
Yeah.
He's very unassuming. You wouldn't even think that he's a
Yeah.
multi-millionaire that he is.
Even our
And a
studios
legend that he
were
is.
brought to us by DJU when we were
And shout
recording
out
in
to
Katlehong.
Groot man, Oskido. And
So that's it's more than just the ones that you know. The DJU, all those studios that were put all over the hood. So many kids came out with studios with music. Kwesta came out from a DJU studio. You understand what I'm saying? A DJU studio. That's how we recorded Dakar. You know, so that's Oskido. Not directly in our studio, but indirectly. And then when we were doing Dakar 2, we recorded that at Maporisa's house. And the reason why we had groceries was because Oskido came through and gave us work. He said, oh, you guys are recording. Here, do a song for this campaign. Here's 20,000. Here's whatever. We're able to eat. We're able to sustain ourselves. You know? So
Maporisa.
Maparisa.
Yeah.
that's
Maporisa
that
also comes from Oskido.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I first met Maporisa,
That's what I'm saying is Quincy Jones.
I've done a lot of songs. I
His
did
verse on Izolo is fire.
Sorry, go ahead.
Izolo. Maparisa's verse on Izolo.
Oh, it's all yeah.
Fire.
Even that one, the
Let me
most
switch to
famous
the bathroom
verse.
quickly.
The most famous verse where like sing Qobile ngabantwana ngabongamanyakanyaka amanyakanyaka. That's the one.
That's the
That's
one.
the verse.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he goes. He
That
goes
verse is
in.
fire.
And he's actually not a rapper. He's
not.
a musician.
His rapper name is Madumane. or something.
Madumane, yeah.
Yeah, something like
Big up,
that.
you know him. Yeah, Madumane, yeah. So he comes from that same old school. He mentored by Oskido. There's a song I once did called We Are Khubuluzing. He produced it. I worked with him in the studio while he was still working at Oskido's studio in Oskido's house at Caswold in Midrand.
Gotcha.
At the back there would be like going on till the early hours of the morning. We did some work. What are some of the other songs that I've done with Maporis? Oh, I once did a song. Some of you guys don't know it. By the way, a lot of our catalog as TS Records is not online yet, but we're gonna put it up. By the way, last week, actually yesterday, Izinyog, I just went on the DSP. So go to Spotify, go to Deezer, go to all these platforms. Izinyog album just came out yesterday. And last month, brand new Mzegazege Skuqa Matola is on the DSPs. Mzegazege Ageku Koko, that album is also on the DSP. So kancane, we're slowly getting our music online. And I know you guys have been very hard on us, but I did a song called Ngithanda Imali. Ngithanda Imali. Yeah, it's also on the DSPs. Produced by Maporisa. And Maporisa was part of a band called Uhuru, right? Uhuru. And Uhuru, they had a hit song called White Chukucha. White Chukucha. And they were doing house music.
Yeah.
So the greatness that he's talking about, that is DJ Cleo, who comes from my generation, whom I've worked with and produced a lot of my songs, and we collaborated and made a lot of hits and classics together. Similar to the greatness of Pori, Maphorisa Matumane, because he can produce clean house, beautiful vocal music, vocal house music. He can do Qom. He was one of the guys who were leading in the Qom trend, or let me not call it a trend, wave. Same here right now with Amapiano.
Yeah.
He's out there.
Collaborating with Kabza, he's out there.
He's
But even
He was
way
nominated
before
for the
that.
Summers as well, for Record of the Year.
And forget the Summers validation, but when it comes to the brilliance that is Matumane, there's a video of his that he released, I think it was 2 months ago, where I think some of my, shout outs to some of my young guys, Nico, I think they went on to McG's podcast and chill. They spoke about how they were not happy with their relationship with Pori. And Nico manages Mlindo the vocalist.
Yeah, yeah.
Mlindo the vocalist was discovered by Pori. And Mlindo the vocalist belongs to Pori is Maphorisa. Matumane
Black Boy Music.
belongs to his label. But I love the video that Maphorisa did to sort of clear things out, because in this music industry, it's easy for us to rock with Birdman, to rock with Lil Wayne and hate Birdman. And say he chowed his money, but we're not in those rooms when they were making those deals, and we don't understand those arrangements and the agreements they had.
For sure.
And when they were kissing each other, we were not there, type of thing. And for me to see Maphorisa still carrying the culture on his shoulders all the way to doing Abu One dance with Drake, and still being in the forefront of culture, humble as he is, I know a lot of people can say he's arrogant, but for me, how I know him, very humble brother, extremely talented, and yeah, you have to know DJ Maphorisa. You have
I do want to meet the guy.
Yeah, you have to meet him.
Okay, I'll take you. You live under his shadow.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he's on the tallest building in Africa.
Oh yeah.
Don't say where people are living, my man. Don't drop pins on
He
people's
said it.
addresses.
Dropping pins,
He knows. No, he knows. He
In
knows.
America, that could cost your life.
Yeah,
Tell us
you
about
tell where
that.
people live.
Because rappers, they are very. Tell us about. I don't know because I see it online.
I mean, I don't know. You don't know where none
No,
of them
everybody,
live.
everybody knows where Porisa lives. Everybody knows he's at the top floor.
Really?
Last week, bro, I was watching. Is it Quando
Leonardo.
Rondo?
Quando Rondo, yeah.
He don't want
Guy
to be a
got
crip no
shot.
more.
Sorry,
He don't want to be a crip no more.
what does that mean?
A gangster.
He don't want to be in a gang no more.
Yeah, I know.
But
Crips and
like,
Bloods,
who
but I
announces it on like social media? That's not how you like. I don't know. That's not how you announce that you don't want to be in a gang no more. Like, you just nah.
And there's that gang culture right
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
scenes.
Yeah, it's more than. What do you mean?
But I think a lot of rappers, they blur that easily with their music career. And
Oh,
they forget that I have to. Yes, you,
I have to go back into this gang. Like I'm still a part of this gang. I guess they forget. But yeah, like he doesn't want to be a part of the gang no more. So like when you're part of a gang, there's certain things that you have to do to get out of the gang.
Can you make it as a rapper in America without being a part of a gang right now?
Yeah.
Who?
Jack Harlow. Perfect example.
You have to be a white guy.
No, Cardi B probably definitely a part of the gang.
Cardi B?
Cardi B is a gang member.
Yeah, she's a gang.
Is she a gang member?
I mean, come on.
Definitely.
Which gang is that?
I don't know.
The pole gang.
The pole gang.
But Jack Harlow, perfect example. Jack Harlow, he's not part of a gang.
But okay, DJ Drama.
I'm not gonna say that they not. Some of these people aren't part of the gangs. They probably have ties to the gangs. You
That's
know
what I'm
I mean?
saying.
They
It's
have
like,
connections.
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you cannot make it without someone who's either in or without protection from the streets.
Oh, definitely.
You know, so
Definitely.
okay. So do you think like a South African rapper, just by being big in South Africa, can actually make a proper career for themselves without
yes.
gang affiliations in
Yeah,
the States?
Yeah.
How?
Jack Harlow.
But I'm saying Jack Harlow's got people that are street guys who will protect him. I'm saying without any street, because
If you come to America, you have a hit. You have a hit, regardless. Has nothing to do with it's. We live in a different era. You know
how-
that, Nota. Like
No.
it's social media, it's things
There's,
like you
none,
don't.
there's none of these things of being real.
Yeah, you don't have
being
to
real
have
to
to be
this.
in a
Realness
gang.
does
You
not
don't
exist
need
no
that
more. Right?
That's part of Quando Rondo. I don't want to be a Crip no more. He doesn't have to be in a gang no more. He doesn't have to be a part of this gang. What is it benefiting him now?
but he, okay, I get. It's not benefiting him now, but it got him in the game.
Oh, that was then though. Like
Yes.
this is a different era now. Like there's social media is crazy right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I haven't seen any American rappers myself that have made it without the streets. I mean, NBA YoungBoy, he's number one. on YouTube.
But you naming the people that have obviously are in gangs though.
I don't know anyone that's not. Meek Mill is still in the gang, isn't he?
Okay, hold on. Let me think of someone. I gave you Jack Harlow. I gave you.
That's a white guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about a
That-
black
that
guy.
Just
counts.
because I know him because he just had a collab with Drake. by the
Yeah.
way, yeah.
But also,
But
like
he's from my
Eminem
city
didn't
too.
need
Shout
to be
out,
a
shout
gangster.
What's your city?
Louisville.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh,
Yeah.
Louisville, Kentucky. Is that on the east or west coast?
It's like Midwest.
Yeah.
It's like in East Midwest.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
What time is it there right now? What time is it now here?
6 hours.
6 hours behind.
Yeah.
Or like New York.
Yeah.
So
I'm
more like
Eastern
East Coast
time
time.
zone, yeah.
Okay, Eastern time zone. Okay.
But there's some parts of my state that's even an hour less. So it's like they're like I forgot what it's called. Central time zone. Central. So they're an hour. So they're 7 hours.
Like
behind.
Texas.
Yes. Some parts of Texas. Yeah.
So
What happened? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, like, so like, it's a
I
struggle.
can't think of an artist right now.
You know
but
what I mean?
I promise you, I will think of artists that's probably not in
The
the game.
baby. Where's the baby from?
He's a
I
gangster.
guarantee
the
Lil
baby
Nas-
killed somebody.
I guarantee Lil Nas
With a
X is
gun.
not in the game.
The baby has blood on he's
Lil
killed
Nas
somebody.
X is
No,
not
he
in the
didn't
game.
murder him, but he killed him like
What happened?
lawfully.
Self-defense?
Yeah.
Oh, at
self-defense.
Walmart. Yeah.
At Walmart.
Like it?
No, not Lil Baby, Da Baby.
Yeah, the baby.
Oh, that's
the
the
one.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, Da Baby.
Lil Baby wasn't he like running like selling drugs or something like
Yeah,
that? Was
he had more. He was already like up before he even started rapping.
Yeah, exactly. So
He
you
had
know,
money before he started rapping.
From the streets.
Was it Young Thug? I think it was. Who was
Young Thug is in prison right now.
I think he's the one who actually got him into rapping.
I saw his sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say the reason why he is rapping now is because they had to tell him like, look, you need to like get out of that lifestyle. You need to start rapping. And I think Young Thug was the one that got him into rapping.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
he was. So you know all those guys, the Gucci man. Like America's rough.
No, but I look at their hoods.
Zone 6.
Like our hoods 15, 20 years ago. So to my man, Kanye used to cry every day.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Even my hood Tembisa. But today, like, I don't want to say that we better or we've evolved, but we don't kill each other like we used to. And the gun doesn't cry the way it used to back in the day.
I don't know what's going on in the U.S.
But in the
They
US,
letting it
bro.
blaze.
In the US,
This
like
in Memphis.
Labor Day. Labor
Day,
I had
31.
a little
Memphis.
SMG at GAT.
31
at the
people
gas
died.
station, like, and just kept riding. Like, you would have thought this man was playing GTA or something. Like, I don't know what he had going on.
This is the new
No,
one.
this recently happened
yeah,
in Memphis.
yeah, 11 people died.
Yeah, was it 11?
Yeah, 11 people have been killed by this
They got him though, yeah.
Yeah, is it?
But he was live on
How is he?
Facebook.
Is it 18 or something?
Yeah, 18, 19, something like that.
19-year-old.
It was live on Facebook.
Is it that easy to get guns?
Yes. You don't have in my state for sure. You don't have to have. You can go buy a gun. The only thing you need, like, you can to wear like to have it like out. You have to have a license or whatever, and then you just go get a gun.
What's the cheapest amount guys in the hood pay to get a gun in the US?
I don't know.
You don't have a gun.
No, I don't have a gun.
Have you
my
ever owned
sister
one?
has a gun.
Okay. For
Yeah,
protection.
my
right?
family has the guns, but I don't have a gun. I never.
I mean,
got a
like
gun.
when people have guns, right? The worst thing you can do.
Neither do I, bro. I don't
Yeah, I
believe
don't
in
have
guns.
a gun.
Yeah.
No,
The
I
worst
want
thing-
one though. I ain't gonna lie. When I go back to the States, I'm gonna get a gun. I just ain't got
Serious?
one yet. Yeah.
You need one.
Why? Sorry, let's ask him. Why do you need a gun,
You
though?
need a gun.
I'm 43. I've lived all my life with no gun, even when my youth.
Because I feel like most of the time I walk around here, none of these people have guns. Like if you're in the US, most of the people probably have guns. So like
Yeah.
I need to have a gun too.
I get you.
You understand?
Self-defense.
Yeah.
In South Africa, because
that's
of
why my
apartheid.
sister has a gun. Like she better have a gun. You know what I mean? Like she's there, she's everywhere. So she needs to have a gun. Her husband made sure she had a gun because like, nah, you can't be walking around with no gun.
That's
It's
why.
a different lifestyle, no?
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
That's why in South Africa.
Definitely if you're in the cities. Like I'm from Louisville, so like you need to have a gun. If you're from Atlanta, you need to have like in the cities, you need to have guns. You need to have guns in the cities.
Because a lot of white people have got guns also.
white
They
people
been
definitely
had
have guns.
especially
Yeah,
countryside,
the white
right?
people
All
got
have guns.
Yes, the white
That's the
people
thing
got
that white people have
guns.
guns, right? So now they're putting in these gun control laws because they're saying, oh no, black people are killing each other more indiscriminately. That's because they come from communities where they've dehumanized each other to the point where they can kill each other indiscriminately. You know what I mean? That's just the lifestyle that there is.
But with white people, you get
white
like
people
you get like an
definitely got guns.
18-year-old walking into a school, bro, like murdering
Because you know-
over 20 people.
Can I tell you why
Over
he does
20
that?
students,
Because
bro.
he knows that there's no one with a gun who's going to stop him. And if there were people with guns who were going to stop him, that kid would not walk into there with his gun because he knows that he's going to get attacked as well. The reason why these kids, these mass murderers, they never go into places where people have got guns. They go into churches. People don't have guns in churches. They go into schools. Kids don't have guns in schools. You know what I mean? You won't see them going to a football match. Because they know that guys who go to football matches are probably packing. If they don't have a gun on them, they've got a shotgun in their truck. You know what I mean? And they're going to pull it out. So now they're forcing these gun control laws, right? Because America has got, the Second Amendment, right? You got the right to carry.
To carry, yeah.
Because they're forcing these gun control laws because now the gun violence has gone haywire. It's gone haywire
gone crazy.
and it's out of control. But the truth of the matter is this. London has got less gun crimes than New York City. And London does not have the gun controls that New York City has as it stands. The problem is that London doesn't have the gun culture that America has, where almost everybody has a gun. So they've got a bigger problem with people stabbing each other. They've got a knife problem. They've got the knife violence problem. That's not going to sort out the violence. Taking out the guns of society is not going to sort out the violence in the society, right? It's about the actual the violent culture that actually contributes.
It's glorified upon, like, you know what I mean? Like, people like it. I mean, they don't like it, but it's like
31 people died in
I don't know
Labor
how to
Day
explain
weekend
it. You
in
know what
Chicago.
I mean? Like, people talk about it so much, like it's glorified upon to be a part of a gang, to have a gun,
in the hip hop, in the rap,
you know, all that is just.
If hip hop can be influential in making people drink Hennessy, and because they rap about Hennessy so much, then how influential is it in the gun crimes if we talk about bodies and ops and pulling up and spinning the block, all that type of stuff? I even heard 21 Savage talking about, he raps about all this stuff because it's the life that he sees and to sell records. But the effect that it's having on people, just in general, like American people. I was watching Thomas Sowell. He's an author, a philosopher, and a conservative, like one of the most famous black conservatives in America. And he speaks about how the American black culture actually comes from the redneck culture of Southerners who were white people from Britain, who came from the poorer sides of Britain, like the way they speak. And that black culture is known as black culture merely because black people dominated the lower classes in America. You know what I mean? In the South, especially. They dominated the lower, but it's not an actual black culture. It's Southern culture. So black people have adopted Southern culture because predominantly black people were
Slaves in the South.
Yeah, were in the lower class. You understand? They were slaves in the South.
I wouldn't agree with Thomas Sowell that black people adopted. But I would say black people had to decide to protect themselves somehow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think he says it
Because
in a way in which
black
they
people are not
voluntarily.
I don't think black people are violent people by nature anywhere in the world.
No, not the violence. In terms of the Southern culture.
Just having guns.
Yeah.
Yes, now that's why when it comes to sorry to disturb you. That's how when it comes to guns in America, African American community, black people, it's with the youth.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
No, that's true. That's because their parents come from the Jim Crow era, where only white people actually were allowed to have guns because they were controlling the guns amongst the black populations. So when you look at the Southern redneck culture, right, the original redneck, not in terms of the offensive word that's used to describe racist whites now in America, the redneck culture that they had in the South.
Wasn't that affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan?
No, it's now become.
Sorry, he's from America.
Yeah.
You're saying it was?
I mean, like, of course you got your Ku Klux Klan, but then you do have your rednecks. So, like, they're both play a similar, you feel me? Like, they still play
You could
the
be a
same role.
judge during the day and a Klan member at night. No, seriously, that's actually who it was. That's why they wore the hoods, so that, these people were upstanding people of society. They weren't the rednecks. They weren't the low-class people. And the Ku Klux Klan actually got refounded after Birth of a Nation came out as a movie. And
remember that movie?
Yeah,
old school movie,
yeah.
but it's a movie that I'd recommend for every black person, even if you're not
if
you're not in America.
My man Nota, bro. I know your stuff.
Birth
bro.
of a Nation, bro.
I studied.
And guys,
American
go
culture.
research blackface, and if you watch that movie, you'd understand about blackface.
So that culture that comes from that side, and I recommend that people actually go onto YouTube and look at Thomas Sowell, which is Sowell. Just look him up. when he's describing that culture, right? Now you can see actually why the Southerners themselves, right? Because they've seen the rednecks, the white rednecks, right? Gun toting,
Yeah.
Second Amendment, we all have to carry, right? As soon as they got
They wasn't worried about none of that.
as soon as they got themselves to a point where they could buy guns, they all started now gun toting and started having that gun culture, which isn't as prevalent in the North. So that's why you're saying he's from the Midwest, right? Which is practically in the South, in Kentucky,
Yeah.
right? It's practically in the South. They've got the gun culture because everybody carries there. White people carry, black people also now starting to carry because they need to protect themselves and defend themselves. And they feel more protected if at least they're carrying. So that when someone comes to you with a gun, you're not without one. And also, when someone pulls out a gun, they think to themselves, this person that I'm pulling out a gun on
Probably
might-
has a gun too.
So
That's why you don't. That's why people don't get mugged in the States. That's why people don't get robbed as much. Because look, he might have a gun. I know I have a gun, but he might have a gun. So if I whip mine out, I could get
killing
shot
might
too.
happen, yeah.
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying?
So they're not going to risk that to rob somebody. Like
So
it's
now,
not
if
worth
you
it.
say that you want to ban guns in a situation where people already have guns, lots of people have guns. In South Africa, we've also got the same situation. Lots of people have guns, right?
Illegal guns.
Now, the problem is that the people that have the guns and the illegal guns are mostly people who are into criminality. You know what I mean? But the reason why we don't see taxi drivers, right, pulling each other out of cars is because they probably both have guns. You know what I mean? So they know that if we escalate to that level, it will get to the level where now guns are being drawn.
Thank you, KO. If it escalates to that level, I'm up to the challenge.
I'm up to the challenge. So in South Africa, you'll find that taxi drivers will come out and they'll whip a passenger. Of a normal car, because a normal sedan in the middle of the street in a road rage incident. Because probably in South Africa, a person doesn't have a gun. We don't carry guns. We don't have that much of a gun culture. And that's because black people were prevented from having guns widely because white people were the ones who were supposed to have the monopoly on violence during the old regime.
Actually, your statement just reminded me of what happened in Phoenix a year ago. My heart gets sad. But anyway, continue.
But that's the thing.
During the riots, remember last
You
year?
understand?
Yeah?
So they were shooting at people who don't have guns, who don't carry guns, who have no access to any weapons and are defenseless. And that's why there was a Phoenix massacre, in this country, because our people don't carry guns. And the guns are carried by the other races who had more access because they wanted to protect themselves from black people. But meanwhile, they're the ones who have oppressed black people. You know what I mean? They've got no reason to protect themselves from people they're keeping from being able to feed themselves.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to another installment, and I want to include Peño.
Oh, dope.
Can we shoot another episode with Peño?
Yeah. I told you about Peño.
Yeah, because today we are just talking music.
Yeah.
So can we have another episode where we're discussing different things?
Oh,
Yeah.
piano. I'm a piano. No, what was you saying? Who's piano?
No. Peño is
Peño.
my co-host or for the Monday show.
The guy I did. I
Oh,
was-
yeah. You told me.
The guy
You
did
were
that.
on his show.
Yeah, I was on his show. I was on the
Okay.
Penno show. Yeah. So yeah.
He's one of my co-hosts. We co-host the Monday show together. But he also has got his own platform. So
I see.
got two.
he also has got a different thinking, very smart, sharp, witty, and extremely intelligent.
He's an author. He's
He's
written
also an
13
author.
books.
I don't
sounds
think you have
good.
to sell Peño. He's an incredible guy. I think you guys will all resonate.
I'm so used to explaining.
And it's important. And big up to that, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Or maybe before we let it go, how did you guys meet? What happened?
So I met him in Cape. He said, "Oh,
He must give you a chance to speak.
Yeah.
Because the first time he came here, both of them with Peño, and I got them together.
This man.
Didn't give Peño a
Didn't give
chance.
him no chance.
And Peño said, yeah, but whoa. And that's Nota
How did
for
we
you.
meet, dog?
So I remember the video of yours where you're like, somebody has to stop Nota.
But
we all love
before
Nota.
that- before that video, I met Nota way before.
Are you
any of that.
serious?
Yeah, I knew Nota. When did we meet? May?
Yeah.
Was it May? So
was
I was in Cape Town, April, May, June. He hit me up while I was in Cape Town in May. He was like, "Bro, I'm in Cape Town. Let's link." I didn't even know who Nota was. Like, I was just like, "Okay, yeah, that's cool." So where we went to
Stellenbosch.
went to Stellenbosch. Yeah, went to Stellenbosch. We went to a recording
Sunset
studio.
Studios.
Yeah, Sunset Studios. Yeah, so we was just chilling, man, just vibing, drinking wine. The scenery was nice, so it was just cool. And so that was my first time ever meeting Nota. So then I got back to Joburg around June.
There's your piano in the background.
June, yeah. So June, July. Now it's August. Or did we
September
I hit you
now.
up in August? though?
September now.
Was it August when I hit you up, or was
Yeah,
it in
yeah.
September?
It was in August.
Okay, it was in August when I hit him up, so we was texting or whatever. In September, beginning of September, it was the end of August, beginning of September. You know what I'm saying? We hung out here in Joburg, and I started making videos about him or whatever. I told him he was a menace to society. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we've been cool ever since, man. He showed me a great hospitality. You know what I'm saying? He's taken me into a lot of places. I did so much in a 2 or 3 day span that I did when I went to Soweto, like all over Soweto. I went to the Kota Festival, or Soweto Kota
Festival.
Yeah, I
Sure,
went to
Kota
that.
Festival.
He took me to the major league DJs mix.
Yeah, balcony mix.
Yo, we did a lot in
He did Selima Tunzi.
Selima Tunzi, like, yo, in the course of 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? A lot went on. You know what I'm saying? I met a lot of people. It's been good vibes with Nota, man. So
Before we end
the
up,
studio as well.
and we went to the studio.
oh, are you serious?
And guess what he made?
Yeah. Anyway, before we end off the episode, like we did on the previous episode when it's just you and I, give a shout out to the young man that went out of his way to be like, I want Mansa Main on SABC One, because he recognized your love for South Africa and he gave you love back to hustle his way through to put you out there on the pedestal.
For sure.
Because now you're with Abu Subu, you're with Abu Nota and what, but
Yes.
there was just that young man who is, you know, who's not
I
on
still
our,
talk to him
our
today.
level. He's still pushing, right?
he's gonna
so let's
be here.
let's give him his recognition. So I want you to get your flowers, bro, because you're the one that literally gave Mansa his plug. Give him his plug.
Hold on, I forgot his YouTube.
Let's go. No, let's
give you
go.
his YouTube. His
We'll
name,
take time,
man.
man.
Yeah.
This is podcasting. This is not
Yeah.
TV, so we can take our time. I'm
I
also
have him
gonna
here because I was just talking to him.
I'm
not
also
too
going to
long
check out
ago.
your episode because I know we spoke about him on that episode. It's important because this platform is for educational purposes. And if one interview that we do or anything we can say within 10 or 30 seconds or a minute can change somebody's life out there,
For sure.
then let's go for it.
ain't got no internet. I can't
Oh, yeah,
scroll
he
down my
is.
messages.
Mansa Man, I should have given you Wi-Fi. But anyway, Mansa Man, I can't check out this entire interview, but let me see. Okay, so if you go to YouTube, guys, and you go search for Mansa Main for SABC One,
Yes.
that was
Think
his
of
mission.
name right now. I don't know
Before we
why.
all knew you, that young man was out in his mission to say, I'm going to
sure.
put that man on SABC
For
One
sure.
because he's embracing South African culture
Connect
and
to
is
my Wi-Fi then.
is showing us love.
Yeah.
We have to show him love, man.
Yeah, we need to show him it. Like,
Yeah, we have to show him love because I know he's gonna be excited, and it's important because this just might,
There you go.
change his life somehow. And
Yeah.
let's see, let's say Mansa Main for
Cortez.
Cortez.
I could. It was right there. I just had to scroll down one more time in my messages.
Is it Cortez or Cortez?
Full name, yeah.
Cortez.
Like the Nike Cortez
Oh, yeah.
sneakers. Yeah, what is his full name?
Hey, Cortez.
Cortez. Oh, you think rest in peace, Mshoza.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his full name?
Let me see. Let me go. Actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is
Because hold on, I ran away
Cortez.
from it. I got too
Cortez.
many-
Yeah, he's Cortez. Guys, go follow him.
He's Cortez.
He's Cortez. He's
That's the man right
he's
there.
got 1,500 subscribers on YouTube.
Same as his
Because
Instagram
of this
as well.
episode,
Cortez.
let's all take him to 10,000 subscribers just because of this episode. I know it's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in 3 weeks. But because
It's gonna happen.
it's going to happen.
His content is great.
This content is going to exist forever.
What does he do?
He's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber. He's a young man.
Okay.
But
If
he
you
drops-
watch his videos,
he drops dope
He
content.
puts a lot of time. You can tell he puts a lot of time in his video because the way he edits, the way he structures his videos, you'll just appreciate his content.
Yeah, we must
for
link
sure.
up with him because we're going to.
I've already
Pretoria.
been talking to him.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm saying,
Guys, let's put him on.
We
Yeah.
must link up with him when we go to Pretoria.
Let's put him on. Let's put him on.
definitely.
We
Yeah,
have to put him on. Let's change.
He doesn't live in Pretoria.
Let's change his life.
I think he lives in a Free State. What is it called? Free State.
Yeah, we'll find a way.
okay.
Let the young man's life change
Oh, man,
because
yeah.
he's put you on. So let's put him on, right?
Yeah, no, we must make
Yeah,
sure.
let's put him on
No, we'll make
because
sure.
he went out of his way. I mean, listen to this, guys. Sorry, listen to this as we're about to wrap up this episode. But listen to this. This young man with only 1,000 subscribers. Nobody knew him at the time. Yes, he was big already in his market. But listen to what this young man said.
As of today, South Africans in his bank the content creators we call YouTubers, and from all the consistent YouTubers out there, one stands out. Mansa, Main. What's happening, everybody? This is your boy, Da Vinci Gutierrez, and this is a journey in how
Da
I got
Vinci
Mansa, Main.
Gutierrez.
Listen. I want them to
This is
hear.
what happens. Now, for those who don't know, Mansa Main is an American reactor who started reacting to South African music since 2019. His first ever reaction to South African music was to a song called Jungle by Master C.
Hey, where have I been at? Who is this dude? I'm messing with this, bro. Plus, he
crazy.
came in hard. Hold on.
He was shocked by the similarities between American and South African hip-hop, which led him to explore more of South African music and gained a huge
And he
following
does
from
his
the
research,
country.
too.
Now, back to the video. I first started collecting the names of all the news outlets in South Africa and cut it down to 3. ENCA, The Daily Show, and the SABC, aka South African Broadcasting Corporation. Now, knowing that I don't watch the news, I then began my research on The Daily Show and the SABC for hours. This is what I found. The first thing I found is that they usually live stream interviews. It'll still be okay, but I want...
The young man took time to put him on,
No.
to try and put him on to the South African market. So I want him to understand that his dreams are valid, but his efforts has put this man here.
Yeah.
And his efforts has made this man meet Lavid Nota and you know, so that's what it's about. Because when you go to the US, Pastor T.D. Jakes, even the great Pastor Musa Son at Grace Bible Church, he says, somebody has to announce you. For you to move to the next level, somebody has to announce you. That person might be, or those people might be as insignificant as you may think, but somebody has to announce you. And when somebody announces you, somebody cuts out 3 or 4 or 5 years of you hustling on the ground to build yourself, to let yourself be known in that market. But when somebody announces you, they link you, you know what I mean? So if you go check out that teaching as well of T.D. Jakes, somebody, I don't know what it was called, but yeah, you understand what I mean though, right?
Definitely,
I see you getting emotional, but it's dope.
Yeah, no.
That's what we have to do on this internet. Let's put each other on, guys.
And also, like, I think it's also important to say now that we're at this part of the interview, is like the role that you've been able to play, for me, especially. Like this, he's talking about, oh no, this guy took me to so many places, A, B, C, and D. You know, I've done that for years, taken artists, talents to many places, you know, and I haven't been excited to do it in a long time. This guy made me excited to do it. You know what I mean? To introduce him to people, to introduce him to places, to get him out there, to go into studio. You know what I mean? I actually went to studio. I was directing people in studio, you know, for the first time in many years. I haven't done that. You know what I mean? And just to see that excitement again, you know what I mean? It reminds me of the days when we were still grinding Kwesta at the beginning stages where I was taking him to places. You know what I mean? It reminds me of that. And although maybe you're not known as a rapper, you're still a content creator, you're still a creative. And what you're doing by embracing South African culture, you're showing that what we have here is just as good as what you guys have inspired us with from over there. You know what I mean? We know rappers from Kentucky. You know, we know rappers from New York. We know all of them, and they've inspired us, right? But we've never had the actual opportunity of the people that grow up in that environment coming here to actually embrace our culture and want to be one with it, you know? And also, we haven't had people who've got that opportunity. They have to go back and rap in their hood. And you had the time to actually immerse yourself in our culture. You don't know how important it is to actually see someone from outside of our culture embracing what we have, you know? Because it shows us that, because what we are able to do, we're able to do it because we make do with what we have, the little that we have. It shows us that the little that we have can actually produce greatness, you know, that the world can recognize. And you've shown that to a lot of people. You've shown a lot of love to a whole lot of our rappers, the artists, everyone that you react to. You know, you show them appreciation for their work. You show them that this work that you guys are doing can actually move someone who does not speak the same language as you, who's not grown up in the same environment as you, who's not influenced by the same things as you, but resonates with your authenticity. And that's something that, you know, you've been able to gift us with as South Africans, you know. So yeah, shout out for that. Shout out for that.
I appreciate it.
You got brothers in SA, bro. I appreciate it. You're an amazing young man.
He's a Bantu, just like
I'm
all
so
of us.
proud of you, bro.
I appreciate it.
He took the ancestry test, by the way. Did he tell you?
No, I didn't.
No, he's Bantu, so he knows that
Bantu,
he's one of us. We're the same. We're all Bantu. You know what I mean? And that's why he feels so at home here.
And 2 things. First one, what would you like to say to other not only African Americans, but just Americans all over the world, what would you like to say to them about South Africa? This is you. And then the last thing I'm going to ask you is, I'll ask you my last question after. What would you like to say to all African Americans, especially black people, about South Africa?
So something I've learned of being out here, like we're all like a lot similar than what we think we are. Just like being here, like feeling the vibe from other, you know what I'm saying, Africans, like the way we act, the way we walk, the way we talk, like the way we just go about our grind or hustle with anything we do is a lot similar, like everywhere, like even in the US, it's just similar. So, yeah.
And then lastly, what would you like to say to, no, I think let me leave it there. Let me not make it as if this is the last episode.
Okay.
Because we are all creating this network.
Definitely.
That's why you see me on a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, we all talk.
Nota be on a lot of podcasts. Y'all just invited him to talk, huh? This man, hey, he takes up the whole talking segment. This man.
It's conscious.
I'm glad he got his water.
It was just me and you having a drink today.
Yeah.
You know? And I always
Listen to the Nota.
I always want to make my guests to relax. On Monday, we had a great episode with Bishop Joshua Mapongo and having a glass of wine. It's just beautiful when people feel comfortable.
Right, definitely.
You know, mainstream media, I'm from mainstream media, I'm from mainstream radio, etc. And it makes you feel like I must just be on my A game. And I must look a certain, I must just say this, I must say, and then the question comes out and we're just out of time. But this space says,
chill vibes. Just
chill vibes, man.
Yeah.
Let's be ourselves. And so behind the scenes, because nobody has walked this path before us, in this podcasting era, and we are, I don't want to call it trend, like it's a trendsetters. I don't want to call ourselves pioneers. So when you're talking Saul, McG, Penuel, the popcast guys, the illegal popcast guys, you Nota, yourself, like people that you always see on the internet, whether you like them or you don't. You need to remember that behind the scenes, we are all trying to form some sort of an alliance where we are like, guys, we're all together. We're not in the mainstream. We are off the mainstream, but still, we've got a lot of people that if combined, like forget everybody else, just the three of us here. Imagine how many people we influence online. You know what I mean? So we have to somehow be united. We have to somehow behind the scenes have one voice.
Agree.
Independent as we are, I can still disagree with you. I can still tell you go to hell. A few months ago, Penuel was telling him to go to hell. And then last week, Monday, he was on his podcast. They were just discussing issues.
Yeah,
like there's no hard feelings.
We need to be able to
We
sit
all love one
together.
another.
Yeah. Whether we disagree or that's like Rhea and Black Steph. Every episode, those two guys disagree. But every episode, they're there together.
You know what I mean?
They come together to disagree every week. We have to watch these two kids just disagreeing on everything. Like the one will say, no, I put my toilet paper this way. No, I turn my toilet paper this way. You know what I mean?
And you just came and you embraced the South African culture. It's very rare, but it's beautiful for the new generation to see that, okay, cool. An African-American young brother can come and decide to settle in South Africa for a year or for 6 months or for however long, learn our culture, blend in, be one with our people, create relationships, collaborate with others. Because you also need to remember, I know that in your country, I mean, podcasting has been big globally for a long time. I started an online radio station a few years ago. Numbers were difficult to get. On Touch's side as well, I remember Touch was one of the pioneers who started an internet radio station on Gareth's side. But right now, what's going on? It's like, so it is, you are here at the most important time and you're going to be proud of yourself when you are my age. Right now, you're in your mid or late 20s, but 15 to 20 years from today, when you're 43 years old like me, you're going to look at yourself and be like, what the hell? Like, what did I do?
Really?
Like, wow, I'm so proud of the moves that I made. Not a lot of African Americans or even Americans are as proud as you are. Sorry, not proud, brave as you are. to just risk it all and just come to a foreign country where you don't know nobody.
Yeah.
Unless if you knew a family, you're gonna stay in their home. You know they love you. You are related to them somehow. You just decided to come and just stay on your own and just.
Even his brother
What if
came.
this guy was a serial killer?
No,
bruh?
his brother came. His brother came to see if it's safe. His brother is
Nah, but
the
I
older
came
brother.
in December by
I
myself.
know, you came by yourself and your brother came to check, okay, are you cool?
Oh, yeah.
And your brother said, okay, you're safe, right?
then he
It's
left.
fine. You can
And then he says on the day he was supposed to come here, he almost changes. I don't know. You changed your
I
mind.
canceled my flight.
Yeah.
I canceled my flight. I was like, nah, I'm not going.
Yeah, but now
I
that
think
we-
Begabona my video and it's like yeah.
yeah, exactly.
But he eventually decided to come.
And he's here. And now that he's here as well, I think like especially for the kids that are in America, the most important thing that you can teach them is that South Africa and especially Johannesburg is the place where you are most likely to make it as a black person. You know what I mean? Like you guys celebrate Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, and all of those people becoming billionaires. We got lots of billionaires in one city. Black billionaires in this city alone. You know what I mean?
And they don't understand that not even a billion, forget a billion, bro. Just 10 million US dollars is 150 million rands here. And you know what that can do?
Yeah, a lot.
You know what I mean?
A lot.
So I'm glad that the younger generation of African Americans, when they get wealthy through you, they'll understand that actually, I don't even have to be in the US and
I
make
can
$1
take this
billion.
wealth over there.
I can just take $1 million
know,
and move to Africa and create
the
an
biggest-
amazing life and impact lives. You know what I mean?
All the biggest
sure,
German
for
car
sure.
companies, you know, the BMW, Mercedes-Benz, they get assembled here. There's a BMW plant in Pretoria and Roslyn. You know, there's a Mercedes-Benz plant in East London, right? Those are the big German companies, right? The biggest German shoemaker, Adidas, right now, they're having a beef with Kanye West. Kanye West, with his billions, should be able to build his own manufacturing plant for Yeezy
And he can easily do
in
it
South
here.
Africa. He can do it. You know what I mean? He can build a denim factory in Lesotho because they've got the water for it. You know what I mean? They've got the water resources and denim takes
To
a lot
build
of
a
water.
Morfire plant, it's like cost you like 100 million.
You understand?
But in American dollars, that's like $7 million, bro.
You understand?
It's not 100 million, it's a $7 million.
And you
We
won't
can
have to
build a
beef.
plant and employ over 300 people.
Yeah.
You know, you won't have to beef with Adidas if you come to South Africa and build your brands. And you've got a market of 1 billion Africans minimum to buy your products as well, which is bigger than that market that you've got in the States, you know. So the opportunity here, you're breaking down doors. You're the pioneer.
So for me, I just want to leave it here because this is as much as he can comprehend. But over time and as he gets older over the years, he'll understand the big move that is just made, because then it transcends what we were just talking about today's episode, music. It transcends to business now. It transcends to manufacturing. It transcends to black consciousness, where you're empowering other black people. Transcends to creating jobs. It transcends to, you know. But for now, I think this is okay for us to leave it here. So we're very proud of
Yeah,
you.
we definitely need to get on
Thank
that.
you so much.
I like talking about business and stuff like that.
Thank you so much, bro.
Ladies and I love you, bro. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me again.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
yeah.
me again as well.
Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Love you
It's
as
all love.
well.
I'll see you soon. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll have you. We have to. You and I just alone on our own. We have to
Okay.
have another follow up.
Okay, cool.
Why don't we have another follow up? Maybe. Let's say first week of October. Let's put out an episode just you and I sitting down.
Okay, cool. No problem. I'd love
Maybe
to.
we can even sit down that side or something.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay.
on our own. Just
Yeah,
talk.
change-
I want to talk about your wife. I want to talk
Yeah,
about what you've
change
gone
the
through.
environment, yeah.
The last interview we had, you said you're going presidential.
Yeah.
You don't want to be reaching down and just. You don't want to be involved in beefs and
Yeah.
making noise and tuganing nabantu. And
Yeah.
I've got a couple of issues.
Yeah.
Or let me say I've got a bone or bones that I'd like to chew with you.
Okay, cool.
And not now.
Okay,
So let's maybe a month from now, you and I, let's sit down.
Okay, no, let's do it then.
Love you, bro. Nah?
Love you too.
Sure,
Love
cool.
you too. Thank you for everything that you've done for all of us. You know what I mean? Mansa, you are here with me today because this man gave me a chance many years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fire. That's fire. Yeah, he was telling me that you invited him to your
He didn't invite me.
No, I'm a
I
nobody,
gatecrashed.
man. I'm just
or
a
he
nobody.
get
Yeah, I gate crashed his radio show.
Yeah.
I'm just
and
a
that
nobody.
set off my career.
That's fire. That's fire.
So I sat down with Mansa like a month ago. So check out the episode, guys. I didn't even
Sure.
tell him who I was, what I was doing. We're just a little podcast. We'd like to hang out with you. Love your work. And
Yeah, he's a legend.
No, I'm not
He's
a legend. I'm just, you know.
Nah, he's a legend.
Oi, Shapkujat, boy. Oh, the boy.
So you know what to do?
He's doing a
if you haven't
selfie
done
that
it
way.
already.
Selfie now, shy. Look there, Nota.
Sharp.
Zogala
Yeah,
closer.
sharp. And then subscribe. And then you press the bell. Press the bell.
This is the Hustler's Corner.